I got a
We're
question.
alive. Yeah, what's up?
Has Dai made it off the island yet?
I did. Okay, so I
We-
have disappointing news for you all.
Oh no, please.
We
didn't
did
watch
not.
it.
We did not watch.
Oh, unlucky.
What do you mean unlucky?
Fuck. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know if they ever make it off the island.
So
Jackman asked
I can go
me,
check out the most recent episode if you want.
Oh,
Just spoil it.
I know they get off the island at episode 5.
They have to at some point.
Episode 5, I think they get off the island.
Jackman DMs me and he's like, "Hey man, I need a name for my final vote. What should it be?" And I said, "Make it Dragon Quest died for this."
Good. Guys, I want to get a couple of things out of the way quick. Firstly, welcome everybody. It's the finale of the Save or Slay podcast, Anime Affray, fall season 2020.
We made it.
We made it. There are gonna be spoilers, maybe, kinda.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Very much so.
And harsh language.
And
Yes.
harsh and strongly, particularly in relation to Akudama Drive, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Taiso Samurai. Before we get into anything, I have to give a very big thank you to Mia Walker because I've yet to do this. She is the person who designed our podcast logo. I'm posting this in chat, and I will post this throughout the show. She has an Instagram. She has her own store. She's also taking commissions. I highly recommend it. She's great. Her prices are fair. She's a wonderful person to work with. If I could show the photos right now, I would, but Michael saw them, and actually everybody in the podcast between Dylan, me and Michael and Nathan saw the work on the designs as they came in, and we workshopped a lot of things, and that's how we got this nice, neat, wonderful logo that we have 4 background colors for, 1 for each season. It's all wonderful. She's great. So that gets that out of the way. Let's very quickly I want to get these out of the way first. Did anyone finish any content from the season? Michael and I finished Day I Became a God, and I finished Wandering Witch.
I finished Tonikawa Wandering Witch. I'm still working through Climbing Girls. I'll probably get around to Day I Became a God at some point. Yeah, why not?
I
It's
finished
entertaining.
Taiso
I'm almost
Samurai.
done. Might as well just finish
Oh,
it.
I'm very proud of you, Tommy, and I can't wait to talk to you.
Completion
Let's go,
mentality.
Tommy.
I think Day I Became a God's
Wait, hang on. I got a bug.
Okay. I think Day I Became a God's a very solid show. I think its ending is about what you're going to expect for the last 3 episodes. It's not off the mark of what we expected. Those of you who want Hina...
Wait. Was it what you guys expected or what I expected?
What did you expect again, Tommy?
What did you expect?
I
was yours
I said the whole anime was gonna flip and it was gonna be a fucking magic show and shit. Like the world was gonna end. Like that's what I expected. But was I let down?
No.
Was I let down? Oh.
I would
It
assume
was not
so.
that. That did not happen.
All right, now I gotta go fucking watch it.
Yeah,
I think
the world end.
Okay, does Hina die?
Do we want to divulge that information? Do you want us to divulge that information?
I'm curious.
No. No.
I'm gonna watch it anyway.
Hina does not die. She does become vegetable.
I fucking called it!
Not nearly as hard as you're all gonna wish. You're probably gonna be disappointed. In that regard,
You like half veggie?
it is.
Veggie Tales?
She's like a celery stick instead of a carrot. Like, what the fuck kind of a comment is that? Like, what? You mean she's like not full? Like,
It's. I was
Is
expecting.
she like broccoli now, or what?
I was expecting much worse than what I got.
Okay.
Damn.
He was expecting broccoli, but like he didn't realize it was gonna be like cooked broccoli, so it's actually good.
Yeah.
you know?
I will say my biggest critique of the show still remains that their usage of love in relation to Yoda and Hina is very unclear about whether they mean it romantically or whether they don't.
It's gotta be brotherly.
they fucking-
brotherly, sisterly.
They use the phrase "I fell in love," and that is the hardest thing. Michael and I are not sure if it is a translation thing, because I never hear anyone say "I fell in love" in a non-romantic way.
Yeah.
But also at that point in the show when they say it, she very much seems more like a little sister or a daughter. Actually, at that point, we are
she's
pushing.
a vegetable at that point, probably.
Yeah. Also, once we see vegetable Hina, we realize she's
Can we
I
not
know
call
just
her
about.
Let's not call her.
vegetable Hina.
Let's not call her that.
I don't know what the problem is. Hina post that at that point looks like
Yeah,
she's
okay.
like 9
Post
or 10
episode 9,
at
Hina,
oldest.
her hair gets cut. And yeah,
Oh god.
she very much
Wah,
looks like a
wah.
completely different character and acts like a completely different character.
What the fuck?
But yeah, Wandering Witch is
Dylan
as
changed his name.
It is
Wandering-
a show.
Wandering Witch is as
I'm mad
mid
about it.
is as mid of a show as possible. And it sets up for a potential season 2 by the end of it. Its episodes 10 and 11 are a pair episode that one of them's the background for the two teachers, Fran and the detective mage, and then the next episode relates to it, but it's with Saya and Elena. And then episode 12, as
Yeah.
Jackman just found out, it's just 16 Elenas.
11 and 12.
It's
like,
actually just dog shit.
the order is 9 is really good and the best episode in the series. And if the series is more like that, it'd actually be a good series in
10,
quality.
10 and 11's okay.
10 and 11 are doable. They're more of a mirror episode than like a than like a pair. Like, if that makes sense. Like, they mirror each other to a degree, but with different characters standing in.
Episode 11 still has really, really poor decisions by the authors, where again, someone who should not have been given creative control got creative control and went, what if we put different girls in different
Episode 12 is like,
bodies?
man, if we just ended at episode 11, I would have been much happier. And
There's
like,
al-
if we just like cut to like the end of episode 12 and like just a hard cut, probably would have been happier with it.
Also, if you think Saya's love for Elena is a bit over the top, you should see Saya's sister's love for Saya.
It's the same.
Oh god, I forgot she had
No,
a sister.
It's the same. It's the same. She
I-
just gets it from her.
Short.
I think it's the same, dude. Like, let's be honest, I would do that same
know.
shit if she
I'm
was in
ready
an
for next
alley.
season.
So, outside of that,
You are?
outside of those things,
I watched
Did-
Tonikawa.
what else? Yeah, talk to me about Tony Kawa. How did Tony Kawa go?
It's the same shit. It's a 7.
Exactly
all
what
I
I
have to say about
thought.
it.
Cool.
It's the exact same shit. Like, it doesn't do anything. It's a little disappointing, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know what I expected. So
It's Tonikawa.
it's a
just
7.
silly little
It's a
rom-com.
mid. It's a mid rom com. It's like,
Tina
it's just like
on that broccoli.
it's just the right amount of wholesome that like you just like, okay, this makes me feel good, but like it makes me feel nothing else. So meh.
Dodge, did you watch any other anime
Any other anime recently?
since
I
we've
don't
been
think
off
I
air?
have. I've been playing a lot of games lately.
That's
Been
fair.
playing a metric fuck ton of the newest update to Stardew Valley with my buddy Walter. Shout out to Walter. I've read Kaguya. I've caught up with Rent a Girlfriend, Kaguya. I'm caught up with Komi-san. I read the latest My Hero chapter, which is hype. And most importantly, One Piece chapter 1000 came out this week.
Oh,
Yeah, it
damn.
did.
Not officially. I haven't read it, Link. But chapter 1000 came out, and for the I can comfortably say basically for the last year, I've linked an image that is like this guy crying reading a manga, and the subtitle just says One Piece was really good this week. And I think I've sent that image every single week for the last year because that's how good it's been in Wano. But yeah, One Piece is really good. And other than that, I haven't watched anything. Just been playing
Dylan?
some games.
Did you watch anything?
Let me think.
Have you been watching
No.
Ruby?
Yes, yes,
That is
yes.
actually
Actually,
something.
I've been told
not an anime though.
I've been told by my girlfriend that yeah, it is a horrible thing to watch week by week.
Yep. agree. Hard agree. It's awful.
What about ReZero?
I try to forget it. And then every Saturday or whatever I watch it, I'm just like, oh yes, let me see it. No, a whole another week.
Oh,
Dylan-
I can't even finish it.
You also have been engaging with something else that is anime related. You've been playing Genshin Impact.
Oh fuck.
Yes,
You have.
I've been clicking really hard on my screen, and yeah, the game's fun.
Can you
Have you
confirm
rolled in?
that as soon as you loaded up the game, you drowned?
Okay, like you're gonna call me
Can-
out? Like,
Yes,
Can
because I think it's
confirm.
fucking
okay,
funny.
It's okay,
who
Dylan.
the
Can
fuck told you?
confirm.
Who told
I
you
was
that?
in call with you when you did it.
Ah, shit.
And confirm.
Yeah, I
I was
was
just like-
swimming.
Probably. How does he know?
I
Who's
was,
leaking?
I was swimming to the first tutorial statue that you had to like save at, and I drowned because I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't realize until
You
like,
drowned in
until,
the
like a
little
good like
river.
hour and a half
Yeah.
into the game that's
Yeah,
why I
I
was dying in
did.
the water is because I was running out of stamina.
Yeah, Dylan
I was
realized.
like, I
Dylan
literally was
realized
going-
it immediately when he died. He's like, "Oh, when you run out of stamina in the water, you just die." And I was like, "Yeah." We
I
also
was
had-
like, why? I'm like,
Usually you
no
just kinda-
reason.
Usually you just kind of tread water for a bit while your stamina recovers in most games, but Genshin's just like, nah, you're dead.
Dylan, have you spent any money
Yeah,
on it?
it's like Breath of the Wild.
I have not.
Good. I respect that. Jackman,
I have not either.
have
Yes.
you watched anything?
I started watching Ruby.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Wait, I'm actually in love with you, by the way. But continue.
It's a little weird.
Where are
But
you
I
at
wasn't-
right now?
Oh, very early.
Okay.
They just formed teams.
Okay, so you're still in volume 1.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
still
yeah,
mid volume
yeah.
one.
Yeah,
okay.
I love Team 7. Team 7's my favorite.
But I wasn't expecting it to only be like 6-minute long videos
That changes.
episodes. And I was
They
like,
got,
oh,
they
does
get
it?
longer,
Okay.
Mhm.
but
I was like, oh fuck, this is kind of cool, but it's so short. And then I started watching a show called like Hamatora or something like that.
I've heard of it.
There's a
I
new
think I've heard of
season
that.
that came out, and I was just wanting to watch something a little longer. It's kind of cool. Only watched one episode, but
you s-
it's essentially it's like fuck, what's the best description of it? Just like people have
Ability to create
superpowers.
miracles. Huh.
Yeah, and
I-
like there's people that get hunted because they have superpowers essentially.
And you're
Cool.
rewatching
And they're like
something.
detectives. Oh yeah, and I'm watching just old shit that I liked, like Darling in the Franks and
Mm.
Wise Man Grandchild.
I can't say I haven't seen it.
The
shit like
the podcast loved Darling in the Franks. The first half of it.
Yep.
The first
Yep.
3/4 of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Ac-
like, are we gonna allow
actually-
Jujutsu Kaisen on next season?
That-
'Cause
I
we
was
should.
just
We'll
about
talk-
to say.
Dibs.
We'll talk about that.
I got dibs for next
mean,
season.
when
That
we
shit's
when we
gonna
when
be
we
the
It's
did
kinda
Darling
my
by the way,
show.
when we did Darling by the way, we only had to watch the first 12 episodes of Darling. Podcast blessed us. Michael, yeah, you want to share what you and partially I watched? You have a couple of things.
well,
You share what you've
yeah,
watched that I haven't,
Yeah,
if there's
well,
anything.
first, before the things I watched, I've been playing some video games, playing way too much League.
Why?
That is true.
Watching way
You-
too much YouTube. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
I just
Man,
do.
you-
I don't do anything other than exist now. I got my first run done of Shantae Seven Sirens.
Good.
So I need to go back and 100% it, and then do faster runs because that's how Shantae games work.
Yeah.
And other than that, I started watching Saga of Tanya the Evil with my sister. Got like 3 episodes in and
Ooh,
haven't
Nazi
continued.
lollies.
Oh, it's amazing.
I love me some
Tanya
Nazi
is
lollies.
Tanya
I
is an
haven't seen
amazing
it.
character.
I
I
haven't
love that
seen it,
show.
but I always call it. It comes up in AMQ all the time, and I call it Nazi lollies because
It's very
it is.
good. And yeah, me and Sean went and watched Beastars.
All of it.
We finished that
Hey,
last night, so we watched all
You're
of season 1.
furries.
We
Yeah.
are ready for season 2. Okay, that show. Michael and I had a very hard time towards the end of that show.
Episode, it's either 11 or 12.
It's
gets-
11. It
it
gets
gets
very
very-
close to softcore porn.
Interesting.
It is
Oh,
fun
it is-
What's the show? What's the show? What's the show? What's the
Be-
show?
Beastars.
Hey Pablo, Pablo,
it's furry porn.
It's
Uh,
furry porn.
Yeah, what's this show?
You're talking to the harpy man. This
true.
Beastars is a wild ride. I don't know. Have any of you actually watched it?
No.
No.
I watched the first like 4
I've heard it's very
episodes.
good.
Whatever you expect it's going to be, it's not. I don't know how to describe that show. It is wild. The characters are amazing. That's the best part of the
Yeah.
show. Its characters are really
Oh,
strong.
Its pacing is also
Insane.
some of the best pacing I've ever. It's ridiculously slow, but done
It's
so well you
worthwhile.
don't realize how slow it is.
I mean, the wolf dude almost gets raped in like the 3rd episode. I don't know what
Yes,
the
like,
fuck?
but
Yeah, but it's really hard when that has to come out of my mouth. I go, yeah, but because man, that
Yeah.
show is complicated to deal with.
yeah.
What are you trying to say?
I would say give Beastars a chance.
Oh,
yeah.
Its opening's amazing. It's by the same people who did Jujutsu Kaisen's ED.
Hog.
Eve.
Mm.
No.
Oh,
the ED.
ED.
ED,
Alina.
ED, yeah.
Or I think it's specifically Aklo or
Michael,
one of the people.
Michael, we watched 9 episodes of
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, we started watching Violet Evergarden and got to the first ending.
Because episode 9's the first ending.
Right.
They decide-
Honestly, why does Violet continue after episode 9? I'm
oh, because
confused.
10
I'm
has to
scared.
stab you. Episode 10 has to stab you, and then you have to get
What
the
happened
second.
in episode 9?
Episode 9 is where she finds out about the major. Like she gets the hard confirmation about the major.
Oh,
But and it's all about her going
yeah.
through that.
Episode
like-
I
10's
like episode. What was it? Episode 7, where she goes and visits the mother. Or is
episode
that 5?
7's the one where she visits the dude
the playwright.
who's the playwright.
Okay,
That's
so
7.
it's like 6 or 5. That's the one where she goes and visits the mom and the daughter.
That is episode 10.
Is that really
Yep.
10?
We are
So
about
after
to.
episode 9,
We are
she
about-
goes and does that.
Yep.
Bitch!
Like I said, the
Ugh!
show stabs you after its first ending. So
Let's go.
anything else, Michael?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh wait, I watched the first half of Haikyuu.
Oh yeah,
season
we
4,
watched
part
the first
2.
half of Haikyuu to the
Oh.
top, season 2.
I
We're
enjoyed it.
gonna finish the rest of it
Yeah.
soon.
My buddy watched all Snafu recently and said he liked it. So you guys should watch Snafu. Okay, thanks. That's my
Okay.
weekly plug for Snafu.
I have a lot of shit I've watched. I watched all of season 1
Fair.
and 2 of Kaguya-sama.
Okay,
Nice.
thoughts.
It's wonderful. It might be the best romance
Let's
/ rom-com
Go.
I've ever watched.
Read. Do you need the manga? I can
I've-
link you.
I was told by someone the anime's better, and he's read it. He
It's-
thinks the anime handles
I-
everything better. He
I
thinks
agree. In a condensed format, it is really good. However, you need to read because we are like 3 seasons ahead now, and
oh my
it
god,
just
how
keeps
does this
getting
show?
better.
One of the things I will say about Kaguya-sama, and I eventually want to do some kind of review form of it where I talk about why I think it's better than a lot of the other romantic rom-coms I've watched, such as Orisuki and Rent a Girlfriend in particular. And that is the way it uses its characters is really good. Its characters grow. Kaguya is a different character in season 2. Season 2 is a strict upgrade from season 1. It is amazing. The show's
Season-
amazing.
The characters continue to grow is the best
Mhm.
part too, and they add more,
Uh,
right? Because you barely got to meet Ino,
Yep.
right?
Oh yeah.
So like, and she is a very major character. 'cause she's
Episode
the 4th member.
10 or 11 of season 2, which is entirely the I can't think of his name right now. The treasurer.
Well, Ishigami.
Ishigami. The Ishigami episode in season 2 might be one of the best things I've ever watched. It is so well done.
Like,
But
All season 2 is like, man, why isn't the show just about Ishigami?
it's very good. I then decided to stab myself repeatedly. I watched all of Erased and
Huh?
all of Alahana.
Okay, thoughts.
Erased is really good. I know there is contention and debate about how its ending is. I think its ending's fine. I think it does. It solves. It solves its. It solves its mystery,
Mhm.
and it gives me what I wanted at the end of the show. I figured out who the culprit was at the start of the
Really?
episode 2 by watching. I watched the OP, saw something went. I think this is who it is. I have a screenshot of me typing it to Michael, but not sending it because I didn't know if he's watched it yet.
And-
He
And you're
hasn't.
sitting there thinking the entire time, man, this really feels too obvious. And then you're like, oh, okay,
Erased is very good.
it's very good.
Anohana hurt me. Very solid. Has a similar issue
Mhm.
to Erased where I would really have liked to have gotten. When a show does such a good job with a cast of characters, I want to know what happens to them afterwards. And I don't get that. And Erased kind of gives me it.
Erased kinda gives it to
Anohana-
ya.
Anohana doesn't give it to me, but it's still a really solid show. I feel very similar about this take as I do about Taiso, so I'm gonna come back to that point when we talk Taiso.
Really? Okay.
I rewatched the first episode of Maochiki, which I watched a very long time ago. That show, I don't know if I'll actually be able to stomach a whole entire rewatch of it. It's a lot more ecchi than I remembered it being.
Oh god, that was Haganai for me.
Yeah, Maochiki is about a guy who gets nosebleeds when he gets a close contact with females, and he discovers that the male butler of the one girl is actually a girl herself, disguised as a guy. And there are a lot of scenes in the first episode that I was surprised to
He
see.
gets a nosebleed when what?
He gets in close contact with a
He see
female.
booby, he get nosebleed.
No, just any contact, any
Like
physical contact.
he's like allergic to the
yeah.
female's scent
Okay,
or something
Sanji,
like that.
calm down.
I then watched all the way to the end of Magatsu Warhite, which is airing now. It actually still has one episode left to come out. That's that war, like medieval empire drama show I was watching that has like a lot of political intrigue. It's solid. Its animation takes some bad turns towards episode 5 and onwards.
Like Berserk
I
turns.
posted it in general. The shot of the two guys with the guns
that
walking.
Was that?
Yeah, it has a couple of shots where it's real goofy and real bad, but the story's interesting and the way the characters connect is, I think, really solid. Episode 12 will tell me whether or not it's probably getting a second season. It's based off a mobile game, so who knows. I then started watching. I told you I've watched a lot. I
Damn.
started watching the first 3 episodes of The Great Passage. It is a show about creating a dictionary. It is also a romance show.
What
It
the
is.
fuck?
I
It
love
is-
Dictionarium.
It is interesting because the main character works in a marketing firm and then he gets discovered by the dictionary editing team and they go, "Hey, you know words." And like you know definitions of words just off the top of your head, and you're really socially awkward. You're perfect to make a dictionary. Get over here. And it's okay. I like it. I liked it so far. I'm gonna get back to it. As Michael said, we watched the first 6 episodes of Haiku to the Top season 2. I watched it twice. And then I watched Morakagi.
Why?
I watched Morakagi. That show,
Damn.
that mahjong show's wild. Akagi doesn't slow down.
Why do you do this?
I've also played a lot of mahjong.
Your
That's
mahjong addiction has
Ever
grown.
since that fucking episode,
Yep.
man.
Yep. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy
I
it.
mean, to be fair, that was like me with chess, though.
Dude, a chess anime
Mahjong
would
to
be
me,
pog.
mahjong to me is similar to chess, where like except I don't take mahjong seriously as I take chess, so it's nice to just sit around and like it's a game that you could mahjong's a game you could play with people and just talk as you play and just fuck around. Like it's actually really nice. I haven't watched
Michiganders call it euchre.
I haven't watched anything else outside of that laundry list.
All
Hey,
right.
I haven't watched
Tommy!
anything else besides the 17 other shows.
Did you watch anything besides Tyso?
Yeah, actually. So I finished Haikyuu to the top.
Let's go.
That anime will probably be in my top 3 of like all time. I fucking in love. Okay. One, I'm super into volleyball, like in real life.
Yep.
And 2, it's just like I stumbled across that like accidentally on Netflix, and as soon as I realized that there was more seasons like on Crunchyroll or whatever, like I watched the entire 3rd season in like I think a day. I think I watched the rest of the next season or the start of the first half of the 4th season in like 2 days. Like I was hooked on that anime. I am stabbing myself. What? Yeah, pretty much. I am stabbing myself in the stomach by trying to watch Attack on Titan every week, but I already know how that anime ends, and I'm really gonna be disappointed because I'm gonna. My assumption is they're gonna try and pack too much in too quickly, and it's not gonna follow through like the fucking manga did.
Have faith.
The new
Hold out
season
faith,
or
The new season,
catch
the
up?
one that's currently going on right now.
Got
I believe.
Gotcha.
Hold out faith, Tommy. Trust me.
I know how it ends.
As someone who dealt with that, hold out faith.
But
Trust
I
them.
know how
they
it
might be able
ends.
to do it.
I don't think they can fit it into 24, 25 episodes. I really don't.
I know.
I will say, there's one thing I watched. This is not an anime, but I think it's very similar to an anime. It is a Netflix show called Alice in Borderland. I don't know if any of you have heard of that.
I love Borderlands.
It essentially is a live action No Game No Life, where
Interesting.
these it's like 11 episodes or 10 episodes, something. It's a Japanese show, so everything is in Japanese, and these guys get transported to a world where they have to play games to survive, and like the only way they escape is they collect all these playing cards, but like there's the challenge, like it's gory, it has like mystery, it has like action in it, like
Oh,
it's fucking good. I watched
it's
all
on
of it.
Netflix, right?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It came out like a week or 2 ago, 2 weeks ago maybe. I watched it all in one night. It's fucking crazy. It's really good. The acting's good, even though it's like Japanese. I mean, I like that. Yeah, I watched all of Taiso. I say quote unquote watched. I watched the last 3 episodes, but I kind of just went along with what you guys like described over the past couple weeks and just
Okay.
kind of skimmed through the rest.
That's okay.
And I.
We'll get to it. We'll
yeah.
talk. We'll talk that.
Besides that, yeah, nothing really else.
Yeah.
So
The only other thing I did was I actually finally finished Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun in the last couple weeks. I forgot to mention that 'cause it's been a couple weeks. The Jaguars clinched the first pick in the draft. I finished Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun and proceeded to then binge the entire manga over the course of 3 days because I had a work shift where I was allowed to be on my phone basically all day. And so I read a metric crap ton of that. And I caught up to that and realized that I caught up, and I was really sad because I was looking forward to more of that. And it's now caught up, and the translations are not very fast. But there's a new chapter that was uploaded 3 days ago that I haven't read yet that I just see now. And yeah, I know what I'll be doing tonight. But yeah, it's good. It's comedy. I mean, it's like it's super just kind of like I want to read this and have a good laugh today. Okay, next. Because you're not really like you're not too invested in the plot because you know it's not going anywhere because it's a rom-com. But like if I had to rate it, like I rate Kaguya's manga like a 10, and so I rate like Monthly Girls like an 8, which is similar to where I put like My Hero, but different genres. So
Oh, next season is gonna be so fucking fog.
I do the next like 4 seasons of My Hero are gonna be Pog. Are you caught up in the manga, Jackman?
Not manga,
Okay.
but I know, I know
The
things.
next 3 seasons are gonna be Pog. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
But I mean that's all I'll say about My Hero. That show is really good. But
I'm
I
ready.
had caught up with the
Excited.
My Hero manga right as it started. What is going to be the next season?
mhm.
I am so hyped for this fucking season.
This season is gonna be cool because it's like the inner school tournament arc basically,
Mm-hmm.
and we get to learn
The
more about
joint training
Deku.
arc.
But like what I'm really excited for is the
The one
not
after
the,
that.
not the next arc, the arc after that. If you know what I'm talking about, because the arc after that is another training arc, and then we have
Oh,
the arc
oh,
of arcs.
then it's the. I
It's
didn't
the
realize
arc
there was
of
a training
arcs.
arc between them.
It's the arc of arcs.
It's the arc everyone talks about is going amazing. I
Mhm.
know about it. I don't know much about it. I know what people call it.
It's very
Kind
exciting.
of.
That's all I'm gonna say. And but yeah, that's it for me. I just wanted to add Nozaki-kun there because it's good. But we should.
Let's
Yeah, we're good.
explain what we're about to do. We're down to our top 3. We already have them decided. It's Akudama in no particular order. It's Akudama Drive, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Taiso Samurai. That's actually alphabetical order. What we have done for the voting for this time, instead of voting to save or slay, despite it being the podcast's namesake, we actually just ranked the shows 1, 2, or 3. You rank the best show in your opinion as a 1. You rank the next show as a 2, and the last show as a 3. A show that's ranked 1 gets 3 points. A show that's ranked 2 gets 2. A show that's ranked 3 gets 1 point. We then tally up collectively all the points and figure out what is the podcast's winning show of the season. We each obviously have our own individual, and that's why we do that ranking. And we'll talk about those. Before we do that, I don't think we should do recaps. Is that
I don't
a
think so.
fair assumption?
I think we just say what we liked about the episodes, what episodes we did watch, because
Yeah.
some we watched one more than others.
Yeah,
or
we
one
watched
less.
episodes 10, 11, and 12 of Akudama. We watched 11, 12, and 13 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and we watched 10 and 11 of Taiso Samurai. Let's get it out of the way. We'll start with Akudama because that's how we have this. Let's just clear the floor. Anything that's confusing that we want to discuss or clear about Akudama Drive?
Me first.
Sure.
Go right ahead, Tommy.
Wait. Is it clear up confusion or can I just rant?
I want to do clear
Rant.
up. Yeah, I was gonna do clear up confusion first, but
Okay.
then we can talk.
Can we clear up that episode 10 was the best episode of the last 3?
Wait, which episode? I watched this,
Episode 10 is the
Episode 10
conflict
is where the
outside the
doctor-
Shinkansen. It is the
Yeah.
Doctor Hoodlum.
Oh yeah.
Death
Okay, wait. No,
episode.
that
That
is
was
a good-
very
that's a
good.
That
one.
episode was
yeah.
fucking sick, but like episode 12 was also really good.
I
Episode
agree.
12 was really good.
Episode-
In parts, we'll talk about it.
Episode 11 is a really weird episode.
I was
I think
Go,
it's
go for
11
it, Tommy.
but-
Go for it, Tommy.
Okay. 11 threw me for a fucking loop
Yeah.
because how it started. I was like, I had to go back and watch it. I was like, what is? I was like, did I
Mhm.
skip an episode? I was like, what the fuck? Okay, so I had to watch that twice before I got to the part where it explained like, basically Hacker was back. Again, most of this is ranting. I don't want to rant yet, but confusion wise, I'm not really confused about anything. I'm just more so
Good.
pissed at the ending. But
Yeah, let's. Do we want to start talking about the shows, or do we want to give our total ranking before we begin diving into them?
Is
Oh,
everyone
boy.
committed to ranking, or are we gonna
Ooh.
like?
I was gonna
Committed,
wait.
I'm committed.
I'm
I already
so
did.
stuck.
I
I have
am
no
really-
Okay,
idea.
okay.
Okay, so first of all, we are all 100% putting Jujutsu Kaisen number 1.
No.
Is that
No.
correct?
No.
Really?
No,
Really?
that's my problem. No,
I'm shocked.
You want me to go first?
Wait, did we watch episode 13 of Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Okay. What? Huh?
Holy shit.
Can I
Okay,
talk about Akudama
okay,
Drive?
let's just dive into
Yeah, go for it, go
Akudama
for it,
and
go
just
for it.
like hit it.
Akudama is my show, so I do want to talk about
Yeah,
it.
no,
Go
good
for
for
it.
you.
Go for it.
Do it.
One, I think to me the highlights of the last 3 episodes of Akudama Drive. I know this might be a contentious point because we discussed it happening and and a lot of us weren't a fan of the idea, but I had a feeling it was going to happen. The Hoodlum redemption portion of episode 10, I still really like. And
Yes.
the reason I like it is not because Hoodlum does anything in particular that I think is really great for him. It's because of what Swindler tells him about Brawler, because I feel like it's accurate. As much as I think a part of Swindler's character that's really strong in the last 3 episodes is that what makes her a compelling swindler is that often everything she says or tries to lie about is grounded in partial truth,
the
or at
truth.
least the truth. She is able to pull off the things she does because she is not inherently lying. I think when she tells Hoodlum that Brother saw something in him, that I'm saying Brother because he fucking calls him Brother. That Brawler saw something in Hoodlum that kept him believing in him and kept him going along with him and allowed Hoodlum to fool him. I think she's 100% right. I also think Doctor's murder scene is really good.
Holy shit, that scene
That
where
bitch
she gets
deserved
fucking
every
trampled.
bit of that.
and that is
Holy shit.
something that Kodaka as a director and storyteller does really well, is makes compelling deaths. I then think that I think everything that happens in episode 11 with Hacker is really cool to watch. I think it is wild how fast it all goes,
Yes.
and everything that has to deal with Kanto being this extra dimensional perfection, like VR simulation, is not shocking to me, and is an interesting way to take it. But it feels the most rushed of anything in Akadama, in my opinion.
We
That
got 2
being
quantum computers this season.
said, I really enjoy the opening scene of Swindler and Courier being connected by the coin and getting to see a little bit about Courier as a character we haven't seen. And then we get to
His
the end of
backstory.
Akadama, and I'm going to disagree with, I think, Daj on this, because I kind of already have an idea where he feels. I think the entirety of episode 12 of Akadama is amazing. I like all of it. There's not a single second of it I
Cap,
dislike.
Cap.
I think there is
Cap,
one bit I didn't
Cap,
like. But
Cap.
me.
I gotta make one comment though. I made the most gigabrain fucking prediction that got confirmed in episode
Yeah.
10
Yeah,
that Doctor intentionally didn't fix Brawler correctly.
yeah. That
I
was-
made that
when
call.
he
I
said
made that
that,
call
I was
like
oh,
episode 6.
Yeah, as soon as I watched the episode, I was like, Michael, you're not ready to be right. And he's like, I don't even remember what you're talking about. I'm like, you will when you see it.
Then I watched it. I went, oh yeah, I did call that.
Yeah, you did.
Which also makes everything with what Doctor gets compelling and really strong for her end. I think everything with Swindler in episode 12 is amazing. I think it's an ideal way to
Yes.
handle her character. As much as I know that we were not the biggest fan of her haircut, it serves a story purpose, and I also think the ending scenes of Akadama would look weird if she had long hair. Like, I think outside of the fact that it has to happen for the story reason of her looking like a different person to pull off what she does, I also just think those scenes look better with her with short hair. I enjoy Swindler.
Cap.
I enjoy Swindler and
Cap.
everything she manages to pull off, and the way she manages to. I don't know if we've talked about this. I know Michael and I have mentioned it, but I don't know if it's been a center point. Swindler, outside of being called Swindler, her actual character name is just Ordinary Person.
I think
Yeah.
she gets a proper name in episode 12. I think someone says a first
She
name
does.
for her.
She does get a
But
name.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's like it was
Yeah.
like Hoshi or something.
But
It was something really silly.
Until that, she is entirely called Ordinary Person Swindler.
Yeah.
I think I think the end of Akadama is about what I would have liked in terms of, sure, just go off the rails and do the bullshit you want to do and give me the ending with these kids that I'm comfortable with. I think it's a fine place to end. I saw an article that said Akadama could potentially have a season 2. I don't agree. If it does,
I would not like
if
that.
it does, the only characters who would connect would be Pupil and would be the kids, because we have no confirmation about Pupil's death. Besides the tower falling.
Shout outs to that one bitch executioner who got hit by a fucking Molotov in episode 11.
It's 12. It's 12. Like, and I think that
on the ground, just hit by a fucking Molotov and just explodes into fire and starts screaming. Oh my god, I was fucking cracking up.
this is something I want to share with you all because I don't know if we know it. Akadama's opening showcases the characters' deaths and the order in which they die. And it's not something I realized till I rewatched the opening afterwards. And how they do it is, before episode 5, they're really blurry. The shots are really blurry.
They start fading.
By
as it
episode 5, or I know it's 7, I think. By episode 7, when Brawler is dead, his shot is clear, and everyone else's photo shots for their individual clips are bloodied from there on out. By episode, it would be 11. well, by episode 10, Cutthroats comes in because he's dead. Then it's Hoodlum and Doctor. Then it's Hackers, and then we don't get to see. Actually, we don't get to see Hackers, Swindlers, or Couriers in full photo because we don't get the opening for episode 12.
I thought we saw Swindler in episode 11. Like you can see
You
it a
can
little
make
bit
you can
on
make
the
them
cross.
you can make them
And
out
I
because
saw
it's
that in episode 11. I remember. And I
it's
was
the
like, oh,
it's the
no.
cross in front of her. Couriers gets distorted halfway through, so it's really hard to tell. But in earlier episodes, you can see it's him by the tree with his bike. I think that's really neat, and I don't know if it's something that you would pick up on earlier. I mean, it definitely gave me the vibes when we started this show that most of these characters were going to die just from the vibes I got from the show and the opening and the ED. I
Also
just
knowing these two directors.
yeah.
I mean, this is either one of the shows where everybody lives or everybody dies. And there's nothing in between.
They also show the shot of the kids walking into the light at the end of the tunnel, which I think that ending sequence is very good. I really enjoyed it. Overall, the reason why I personally strongly like Akadama is because of the fact that I think its use of characters are incredible for the cast it has. I think what it does with its setting is incredible, and I think it offers something entirely new that is an enjoyable experience. And I can't really talk about why I'm putting it above Jujutsu Kaisen until I talk about Jujutsu Kaisen.
Fair.
But to me, Akadama is, in my opinion, the best show of the season.
May I give my 2 to 10 cents on this rant?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Cap.
I will start with the good with this show. First of all, overall, I am terrible with names, especially Japanese names.
Oh,
So
you probably
2,
nailed it. This one.
So this anime gave me the easiest softball to hit with names that I could remember and associate with their characteristics and their villain like personas or
Yes.
whatever. So very easy to remember, very easy to talk about with people outside of like watching the actual show. The episodes that we watched, which was 10, 11, 12. From when I first joined the show, I said I am an action slut. I love action. This show displays action better than any show I've seen in a long time. Episode 12 had me like hairs on my skin standing up, especially the scene with like the end scene for Courier where he like uses his bike's laser and like his arm to shoot the cannon down to shoot down the jet. That was totally cool for me. Let me point out some of my distastes. The last episode seemed I'm sorry, the last 2 episodes seemed very rushed in my opinion. The scene where they go to Kanto, I was not a fan of the whole supercomputer giga advanced technology bullshit, whatever they said. Like I was expecting Kanto to be
There's
this
no
like
action.
okay, well there was no the only action was fucking Swindler getting hit in the face by a fucking blade or whatever.
Hacker
Like,
getting
fighting the
nearly fucking
computer
killed
is
on a-
action.
Okay, that was
Hacker
that
does
was
a
cool too, that was
Danganronpa
interesting.
minigame.
Yeah, that was cool.
What do you mean? It's just that dive scene from the day I became a god.
That's what it reminded me of, honestly.
No,
It did.
Hacker literally plays one of the things from Danganronpa.
Yeah,
the
it's
same
literally a
fucking
Danganronpa
surfing
minigame.
one.
Yeah, I
It
know.
literally is. It was really funny. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah.
I was expecting Kanto to be this actual like society with how they were like attempting to get these people and they were trying to make trades. I thought there was going to be some. I could have seen this going into like a season 2 where they developed more of Kanto, but then the way it straight up revealed like Kanto is this like apparently like
Wasteland quantum supercomputer.
unaffected by gravity too. Like I don't know how that works.
Yeah, that was really weird.
That was whatever. Hacker dying. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, but I wasn't shocked by it. As soon as I saw him getting like eaten alive by the firewall or whatever, I was like, okay, yeah, he's dead. The last episode, Swindler's death was not in like exciting. I guess that might not be the right word to use, but it didn't do anything for me. Like she literally just screamed at the executioners, and then the executioner was like, "You're dead," and then killed her. Like I was like, that's kind of lame. I know she wasn't an actual like criminal, so like her fighting back doesn't make sense, but I was just like, that's kind of a shitty way to go out, I guess. I don't know.
Just a martyr.
She was a
She's just an
martyr, yeah.
ordinary person.
There's a
She was
cross behind
Jay's
it. There's a cross behind it for a reason.
Yeah.
Like that's why I love that
She
scene.
did
I'll talk about
murder-
that afterwards. Like I'll let Tommy finish, but
Also, the part that I guess I could have mentioned when this confused me was when Courier's delivering the two kids to that other town, he decides to stop because he's injured or whatever reasoning it is. And then he goes on to have a full-fledged fight to the death with 3 carrier plane tank things. Like, if you can drive and fight, like, bro,
So,
keep driving.
think-
Like, get over the
I think the logic
like, he's
behind
on
that
this tree. It's
was
like, nah, this is where I die. Like,
he-
I'm cool with dying here. Like,
I think the logic with that was his bike was overheating and it wouldn't have made it there in time because he was gonna get caught because the plane's faster than car. So he's like, okay, just start running and I'll just deal with the planes once they get in range of my Giga laser. But I get what you're saying. It's like at the same time, it's like, but like you also just shot like 4 mega cannons and like the mountain was like 2 minutes away. Like
yeah.
Courier feels like he
maybe-
should die 8 times in that fight scene.
Courier did die like 8 times in that fight scene. Also, by the way, has a little fucking stab wound inside of him.
Bro,
Like,
the part where the plane like crashes on him, I was like, "That's a badass way to go out." If they told me Courier died that way, I'd be okay with it. But then
right?
when he hook shotted like out of it, I was like, "Man, this is some plot armor."
Okay,
I'm
but he
pissed,
gets to rail
but
cannon with his metal arm.
that was cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
I said that was cool. That was
That's like the shining
Okay.
thing for me where I'm like, yeah, I have a problem with how often it feels like Courier has plot armor, but he also gets to rail cannon with his arm.
But he's also the coolest guy in the show. So,
Yeah.
like, I mean,
Yeah.
he smokes cigarettes and he's cool and he's got a leather jacket and he rides a motorcycle without
He
a
calls
helmet.
people shitheads.
It's called
Yeah, and
Akadama
he's a
Drive
shithead.
because the Akadama
Yeah, it's
Drive.
Okay,
Stop.
last thing about this show that kind of overall left me feeling dissatisfied or unsatisfied, dissatisfied, whatever. Was the kids had some character to them, and I get they were trying to emphasize this, but the fact that they just I don't know how to describe this without more context to what I'm trying. It's like the characters were given a backstory. They were given some development, like when they had Swindler and Sister have their little adventure or whatever, and then they did the rescue of Brother, and then the fact that they were the only 2 remaining, and then we didn't even have anything afterwards. That if the fact that they invested the time into creating these 2 characters, and then the last scene is them just walking into a light, I was like, that seems kind of boring to me. I know they can't really do much with the last episode, but they're like, okay, the mission overall, yes, it was a success, but it didn't give me what I needed in the end, I guess. So that's why I ranked it number 2, because we'll talk about what I ranked number 1 later.
It's Taiso.
Spoiler, it's not
Taiso,
Taiso.
isn't it?
No, it's not
It's
fucking-
Taiso,
it's not
isn't it,
fucking
Tommy?
Taiso.
You
Taiso.
love
Tommy's
Taiso,
a
Tommy.
It's not Taiso.
Yeah.
Fuck
So
that show.
Let's
I
pass
actually
the
rated
torch.
Akadama 3.
I know you did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this,
Can
Daj.
I talk about that a bit?
Go
Yeah.
for it.
So hang on. I think all 3 shows were very solid, right? And personally, I thought Jujutsu Kaisen was head and shoulders above the rest, just because it's been consistently for 13 episodes the same level of investment that I've had since episode 1. That's hard to do, but it keeps compounding on itself and keeps developing. But we'll talk about more when we talk about the show. Akudama, I was a little let down with the last 2 episodes. Episode 10 I think was, if not it was one of the better episodes of the entire show. It was super packed, the scenes with Hoodlum, Doctor getting trampled, then going in the Shinkansen, and then episode 11 is just okay, I get it. I kind of expected this to be Kanto when we saw them go into a wormhole back in episode 4 or 5, I think, when it started distorting. You're like, okay, something's fucked with Kanto, but we didn't really get to see it because they turned around, right? Except for Hacker, who ends up going. So the fact that they didn't get taken in by, I guess you have to surrender yourself to Kanto basically, your consciousness, which then evaporates your body or something, your mass, but like it
So
doesn't make sense that way. But
how I
like
interpreted it was that you
I interpret it
enter
as
the
you assimilate to
Shinkansen,
Kanto.
you enter the Shinkansen, it puts you into that dreamlike state where you live the best parts of your life, and as soon as you acquiesce to that, you hit the decontamination zone and you're gone, and your
I-
brain just goes into the quantum computer.
See, I think the decontamination zone is what causes this because they were on the Shinkansen
Well,
before and they weren't affected.
There
So
are
I think
there's
there are
two-
two
yeah.
zones in the
It's a decontamination, like the true decontamination or whatever.
also the whole rabbit and bunny thing I thought was a little shoehorned in episode 12. I did like the whole rebellion thing. I think that was really good. I think Swindler's death was personally Swindler's death was my favorite in the entire show. The symbolism of it, like it's in order of a person getting murdered, so this would cause uprising, is already angry state. I didn't like the riot basically saving his ass. I thought it was kind of like half-assed. And him getting stabbed there just felt like unnecessary. You could have just had him die in the fight with the ships, and like I said, the ship crashed into him or something and it explodes. Like that would have been fine. But yeah, in episode 12, like I wish we got more of like what is this utopia? Like what is this coordinates? What was the point of all this? And why is this area so close to Japan, but no one ever goes there, right? No one leaves. Is a question. Why does no one explore the outside world? Which again, like the whole world itself is kind of like it's a world of history is written by the victors, right? And so we don't know about the world because the show doesn't know about the world, basically, is what it's saying. But I don't like that kind of setting when like it ends and then you're like, okay, but like now I don't know what happens, and that really irks me because I like what was this whole journey for, other than essentially a little bit of character development in these two characters and an uprising in the state. But I still thought it was really good. I thought the show was good. I enjoyed it. The last episode kind of let me down outside of Swindler's death. Yeah, so I actually give this my third rating because I have reasons I'll say later, but
I can't wait to hear you talk about Taiso.
I know you can't. 'Cause I thought you would have been in the same boat. So we'll see.
I can't wait to talk about Taiso.
I can't wait for you to put Taiso above Jujutsu Kaisen.
So
Who wants to go?
Um,
Mike, who wants?
I will say though,
I
it
can
was
talk
very
for a
close.
bit.
It was very, very close. I went back and forward for quite a bit on this. So
So all in all, I think episode 10 was really good. 11 was a little fast. I liked the thing with Hacker on the inside of the machine. It was that episode was interesting. The scene where Swindler almost fucking dies when you get about to get impaled by a piece of rebar.
you saw it coming for about 20 minutes.
I was like, oh look, she's going to die. She's not going to die, but that's kind of neat looking. But yeah, I thought episode 12 was really good. The only scene I didn't like was the scene where he cuts down the tower, because I don't
Yep.
like the opening song. And that's the song that I think that they did it amazingly with the trope of using the opening in one of the biggest scenes of the final episode.
Why do you not
But
like the song?
It's just a bunch of noise. I don't know, man. The song's not bad, but like
Ah!
I think the song individually isn't the best, but I think with the with the opening, it's actually.
oh yeah, I think
It's so
the
good.
opening in total is really good, but I think the song itself falls flat.
Okay,
Also,
that's fair.
that was, in my opinion, one of the weakest animated bits of that episode, where he's very slowly climbing up a tower. It was very silly.
I mean, every CG bike scene was silly in the show, dude.
Yeah.
Just look at episode 1.
Yeah.
Like, go back and watch episode 1 and tell me that's a good scene. No, you're laughing your ass off because it looks fucking stupid.
But it's
like, at the
also
same time, you're like-
cool.
but it's also like the child in me is like, oh my god, it's so cool! Look at the bike riding down the walls.
What?
He's got a
So-
slingshot.
Oh, I don't know if anyone else has stuff to say, but there's something Dylan and Sean might remember from winter 2020. I did a thing where every single show got I did my own
Let's-
mini anime awards, the
Let's
Michael
hold
Awards.
this till the end of discussion on
Yeah.
the show. Let's have
All
Jackman
right.
and Dylan talk first.
I didn't enjoy the last couple episodes of the
Mhm.
show. I felt it was way rushed. I loved how Doctor died because she was just a bitch. But I don't know. There's something that's just like I wasn't affected when Swindler died. I was affected when Brawler died because I was like, fuck. fucking she's a bitch for doing that after we found out. Um, and I was just like, if Swindler had died on one of those fucking spikes, I would have been like, fuck, that's the end of her, right? And I was like, oh, it's gonna fucking happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It didn't happen. I was like, oh, all right. Um, I don't know. It's just I feel like there's a better way to do hacking scenes. There's got to be a better way to do hacking scenes, right? It just hasn't been discovered yet because it looked the exact same as Day I Became a God, and I lost all interest from that point on in that show, from that scene. And I don't know. It's just like I guess it's a cool way for him to go because it's something that he loved to do and all that, but I don't know. I just didn't like it. I loved I think one of my favorite scenes was literally the riot and the little girl coming up and just shooting the fucking
That
dude.
was so. I almost
so
forgot.
good.
Yeah,
That
It's
that
so
scene
scene was
good.
really
was
good.
so good. I fucking paused it and watched it again,
Mm.
and I was like, I started. We were in a car ride to my brother's for Christmas Eve, and I was audibly laughing in the car. I was like,
Within 2 episodes, I think there was only 2 cool scenes
got a
that
Glock.
I really enjoyed. It was one, the little girl fucking having balls and shooting the fucking detector, executioner right then and
Yeah.
there, and then uh oh fuck, what's his name? Courier using his fucking arm as a cannon. I was like, that's just fucking badass. But I don't know. I lost like a lot of steam hype that I had for this. I mean, the scenery is still fantastic, but I don't know. I just I lost a lot of interest. Let's put it that way. But I rated it my second best.
Dylan, I know you're not fully decided, but do you want to talk about Akdama? If you exist, do you exist?
Dylan here. You alive?
Did he
Is he okay?
leave? He
My
didn't want
mic's fucking muted. No, I'm listening. I'm listening. My mic's muted and I forgot it was. It's fine. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything yet.
Or do you want to like just wait, Dylan? Do you want
Okay.
to just like wait?
No, I'll say my thoughts. So Akudama was really good at the end for me. I understand it might not be for you guys, but for me, I really liked how looking back at it, every single character except like Doctor, but Doctor ended up being a shit person. Like every character that like you respected in the show died a way that they wanted to, right? Brawler died fighting some dude he really wanted to fucking beat the shit out of. Fucking Hacker died literally hacking. Cutthroat died literally staring at what he thought was his red or whatever what it's called.
Fucking wild.
Yeah, his angel or something.
Courier died just completing a delivery, right? And Swindler died doing what she wanted to do, which was fool half the entirety of Kansai into believing that she was a good person and the executioners were bad people. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I really like that idea of like not a noble death, but a death that like means something to the person who dies. Because I think that that's really cool and shows they don't get a lot of. Like a lot of times people just die and you're like, shit. But this time it's like someone dies and it's like, ah, damn it, they got what they wanted, kind of thing. So I can't be mad at them. Swindler dying was insane. Because she basically admitted she's like, this is the worst thing of my entire life was trying to give you this fucking coin back. But I'm glad I did it because I feel like I can make a difference and whatever. And her recording of herself basically like this this propaganda against executioners where I mean in the idea of law and stuff like that, like yeah, they're like the policemen or whatever, but I mean you can make anyone look like a villain if you do the right angle, right? So I really like that.
But to be fair, Courier was right. Giving back the money was bad luck. She kind of died.
And so does he.
So, yeah.
Anyway, so I really liked the only thing I wished so much at the end of the show was that they gave us like maybe like 30 seconds of what was this Shikoku place. I just wanted to see it. I just wanted to see what it looked like before it ended, but it just cut to white and I was like,
it's just a
damn
white
it.
screen.
Like a horizon shot of it. It's just
I
like you just
know.
see the buildings over the horizon
Just give
kind
me
of thing.
I wish
You
there
mean
was
like the
just
I Am Legend
something.
scene where they show up at the fucking like safe zone?
Because now it's just it feels like if they do a second season, I don't know how they're gonna do
I
another
don't.
second season.
I don't think they're going. Like
It-
it's going
it
to
would
be.
be-
It's
it would be
not
like a
going to be
completely different show.
Akadama Drive if they do a
No.
second season.
Yeah.
It's going to be something else in the
It's-
same world.
It's gonna be a
Akadama Drive.
completely
Akudama
different
Fly.
They could call it Akadama Drive 2, and it would be Akadama Drive 2 in the same way that their other fucking content of video games they produce take place in the same world, but are only loosely connected to each other.
I will say as well, I did enjoy, back on the topic of actual Akadama Drive, is the development of Sister as a character was really nice to see though. She was adorable.
good.
This is a good season for little sisters.
I also want to
Oh.
say that I think
That's a bad sentence. Let's not take that out of context.
no, we're taking it out of clip it. I also think
No,
that
Ship it.
I think this set of characters have some of the strongest like motivations that exist for characters. Like Courier has a reason to take delivering seriously, and it's his relationship with his mother. And Swindler has a reason to want to be ordinary and just to be good at swindling people, because it's literally just her natural existence. And I think, in my opinion, two of the more compelling characters outside of Brawler's fantastic, are Doctor and Hacker, because the whole reason Hacker goes the way he does is because he is so bored with everything else. Nothing is a challenge to that man that he would rather go to some place he's never heard of, and when he finds out it's a digital wonderland, he just exists in it. And you have to think that if you had to write a way to get rid of Hacker, it's the ideal way to do it, because it works for him. And Hacker and Doctor are the two characters who are the most problematic Akadamas in actuality. Like, Hacker solves 80% of the show's conflicts super easily, so you have to find a way to get rid of him, and using his own motivations work. And Doctor's the same way, and I really like what they do with her in that she doesn't want to be immortal herself. She just wants to know how people can become immortal so that she can decide who lives forever and who dies, because that is so much more control than anything else she could have. Her living forever doesn't change anything if she can't play with people's lives the way she wants to. And I think that's super compelling and makes her a very good antagonist for the whole show.
Also, with that I think her death's one of the most important ones for a character, other than like a brawler with fighting someone. She dies having no control over her own life. She has no control over
Fucking
anyone. She gets
trampled.
trampled by the masses,
One
which is
more
exactly
thing.
what she wanted to control.
It was something about finding out that there was no city, right? I was just like, oh man, I was hoping for a full scene where Hacker is just like, fuck, everything is so fucking advanced here. I have no idea what I'm doing, type deal.
Mhm.
I felt like that would have been really cool, and for him to like work his way up, like hacking, doing a whole bunch of different shit in this like crazy advanced city. But to find out that it's just fucking just like a wasteland floating, just protected by just like a GPU, I was like, oh man, everything that I had imagined this perfect city to be would just in my head just gone
But
without
that-
even like, I don't know, I just I don't know, I just felt like without even like seeing how the city was like run inside of it, right? Like because like all the mines are stored inside of it, so it's like a hive mind essentially,
Mhm.
and you can't really see any of that, right? It's
What
just
I-
from the outside looking in.
What I like about that though is that it puts us in the same situation as the citizens of Kansai, where if they found that out, they would be just as disappointed that this location they hold up as this godly sanctum, and this train that is a holy vessel that takes them there, is all just technological mumbo jumbo. That none of it's like real, really. It all just exists in this space.
This quantum computer.
Like it is
So-
a lie for them to achieve some kind of perfection living in this idealized society, but it's all just in their mind.
So now here's another follow-up question. Why didn't Hacker just go ahead and broadcast that?
Because what does he get?
Instead
Because
of-
he doesn't care. He has no reason to push that for
Mhm.
like the reason he hacks Bunny and Rabbit and Shark is to help Swindler. Like that's what he
Yeah,
cares
no,
about, is to put.
He owed them a favor.
Yeah.
He literally said that in the show. Like he says, "I owe you one for helping me."
So he
That's the only reason he helped them.
he gets them the kids, and he sets it up so that they can get the kids to the location they need to be. Like, that's his final gift to them. He doesn't care if the people of Kansai know. He never... and that's the thing about the Akadama. None of them, except maybe Swindler, but I think by the end of the show you can argue she really doesn't, cares about any of the people in that city.
Yeah,
In
the
fact,
idea is that all the Akadama are so greedy and self-centered. The only thing they care about is themselves.
one of the cool things, and this is actually one of the things I wish the show dived into a little more, is with Pupil, is that I think her coming to terms with the fact that she's staring at a child who the executioners have taken everything away from and pushed to shoot her partner. Like, she's someone who actually might care about the people. She might be one of the only and her partner might be the only two people who really care about these citizens, and here they are facing this mob who wants to kill them. Like, I just think the way they set up the way they set up Kansai, and the way that the executioners are viewed and the Shinkansen are viewed, is done in a very purposeful way, and I think that the show executes that very well.
15 minutes. Okay. You can't forget also they also blew up the train, which, by the way, is like the god of this world. They watched the executioners just blow up God, basically.
Yep. And they also
Yeah,
watched them
like-
slaughter tons of people right before it and declare them Akadamas, and then they watch a broadcast execution of someone they claim to just be an ordinary person.
Yep.
And because the camera was far away, it was a low quality shot, and it just looked like a normal person.
I mean, they also didn't have the image of Swindler that people were looking for wasn't the updated one either.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it's also one of those things where, Dylan said it,
Fake
like,
news.
from our perspective, the executioners are the bad guys because we're following the Akadama. Like, yeah, they do a lot of really bad things as a military task force, basically. But we are also following the Akadama, so everything is in an even more particular horrible light. If this show was told from the executioner's point of view, it would probably still look really shitty, just like some of the stuff the Akadama do aren't necessarily good things. The show plays morality really well, I think. Dylan, I'm sorry. Did you have other things you wanted to say?
If I did, I forgot them. I don't know. I honestly think this was the best show of the whole season. Like, throughout the entire time, there was not a single episode I was like, eh. Like, every single episode was on point. I was there to the end, and every time I was thinking, oh fuck, who's gonna die this time? And every time I was like, damn it, they had a good death. Of course they did. So I can't be mad about it. Even my favorite character died like episode 4, and I was like, fuck, he got what he wanted. That's all that matters.
And that's such a good scene. That whole brawlers fight is still, to me, one of the best things we got this season.
I don't know, like, it felt like from the start, like, this show, like, hit you in the stomach with, like, this is fucking nuts, and just kept going to the point where you were, like, numb, and you're like, this is still just nuts, I feel like. I don't know. I think this is the best show of the season, though.
Are we ready to transition?
Well, we got to get out.
Oh
the
yeah,
Michael
Michael,
awards.
give your awards for Akadama Drive.
Okay, so
I love these, by the way.
first award we have best world building, which of these three, there wasn't much of a competition. Taiso's just America. Taiso's just Japan in 2003. And Jujutsu's just Japan in 2018, but spirits exist. So like that was kind of a given. Its second I gave it was most colorful.
It's very cool.
Because my god, this show was colorful.
Can I amend those two awards into one?
Sure.
No.
Can we just call it the best aesthetic award?
Sure.
Michael's gonna.
And I
Michael
also
just
gave
has-
it the and the
I like the big
and
one.
you know like how the Crunchyroll Anime Awards has the best fight scene of the year. I gave best fight scene to this show for the brawler and master fight. I think overall the action in Jujutsu was better, but that singular fight scene was amazing.
Thought it was
And
good.
every show is going to have its the Inside Joke Award, which is the most aka aka aka.
Good.
Alright.
Yeah.
Good. He's done this before, by the way. If you haven't joined us,
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did this.
Eventually,
the winter 2020
eventually,
season.
I'll have those uploaded and you can listen to them.
Yeah.
We're not gonna worry about that though. Let's talk about Jujutsu Kaisen. Do any of us have anything we need clarified for Jujutsu Kaisen? I feel like we probably shouldn't.
I think everything's laid out nice in a
Oh.
nice, clean format.
Because I
Shit
want to
fucking
just
happened.
let Jackman talk first because it's his show.
Oh my god. I mean, if y'all want to talk, go right ahead. I fucking this show gets me so fucking hyped to watch every week, out of doubt. And it's probably one of my, if not my new favorite show of all time. Just because of just the aesthetics, just the comedy, just the everything I feel is just so well knit together. The storytelling from just deep despair to how to overcome something and it just moving forward and we haven't even gotten to like the sustenance of fucking things. The whole entire show. He's still only 3 fingers deep right now.
3 fingers. I thought he's 4.
Or 3 or
No,
4
it's
fingers
3.
deep.
He's
The
three.
fourth one
Um,
was the one at Junpei's house, but he hasn't gotten that finger.
Yeah, he hasn't
yet.
gotten 4 fingers.
Which is weird,
Um
but we'll talk.
and
Also,
oh, just everything
F in
just
chat
so
for
good.
Junpei.
Oh my god.
God, we'll talk about that.
Just the sad part of one, this character that's just getting completely bullied and is pushed to want to kill. And then you have Itadori that's it's just this kindness that just brings the best of people. And that I find is really interesting how it's just this character can just be like, yeah, it's fucking shitty, but like there's people can be good and I can be good like that. You can be good. And then to see him just die right in front of him. Oh, I was like, damn, this shit is so fucking crazy. Just everything, the fight scenes and just the domain expansions, everything is just crazy. Great show.
I like Jujutsu Kaisen. It's so good. I like the brawler fight scene in Akudama Drive, but man, the fight scene between Itadori and or no, not even Itadori. The Gojo versus Krakatoa, because that's just what everyone's calling him. That's what
Yeah.
everyone's calling him. He has a name that they mentioned like one time, but
Jogo.
everybody in every review I've seen, no, he's Krakatoa. Stop. Calls him that, and so that's what we're calling him. So like, I gotta give it to like one of those fights. Like it's just so good and how they do it, and as well as like, isn't this the same animation from God of High School?
Yes.
Yeah.
Same animators.
Yeah, you can fucking tell. It just looks so beautiful at all the time. And the
also
show just goes in. It just goes in.
This is also the Taiso studio.
That's crazy. But like, I just think Jujutsu Kaisen just is so well put together. Like, there's not a moment in this show where I've been like, oh my god, I'm so bored. Like, there's not a moment where I'm not like looking forward to the next thing that's gonna happen or the next like turn they're gonna put on it. Right? Like, we had our main 3 characters we thought we were gonna follow for like this season. We haven't seen them since episode 6. Two of them, right? Like, Yuji dies, and then we literally like we see them for like 2 episodes, like start their training arc, and then like we're like back to Itadori for the next 6 episodes, 7 episodes, right? And then like they show Junpei in the intro for 13 fucking episodes, and then turn him into a fucking amalgamation and fucking kill his ass. Like, what the hell? Like, I don't know what to expect with the show at any time, and I think it's just the best this season for that reason. And like, it has never had a moment where it's dipped for me in the 13 episodes.
Can I go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, I want to go next because I kind of my thoughts on it is like a combination of John's and Jackman's. So like Jackman was saying that like this show hasn't even reached like the sustenance of it yet. Yes, that's my biggest problem with this show right now and why I cannot give it 1. Because yes, the show, if this show finished its 24 episodes and like if you like if like Akudama had 24 episodes and all like if it was on equal episode pacing, this show blows everything out of the water, right? But we're only halfway through the show. So like I don't know if it's gonna be good or not. Like at the end. Like if anything, like it won't be good. And then it's like shit, I gave this show fucking 1. It's not. But like the show is clearly very good so far. I don't like the fact that we don't see the other characters because in the last episode, fucking Sakuna even says, was the last episode or was the episode before that? I can't remember. He's like saying
It's in
something
12.
and like all of a sudden he's like because of like him, and it just cuts to fucking
Yeah,
what's
like,
it?
why does he like
I'm like,
Fushiguro
No,
so much?
it's
why?
in 13. I think it's
I
in
think it's in the
13.
most recent
Yeah,
one.
it's the last one.
Because it's when he beats the shit out of Mahito.
It's
Yeah.
when the dude encroached his
Yeah.
In the very
space.
last one.
We get like a face flash.
Yeah. So like I don't understand why he's so interested in him, but we don't fucking see the guy. Like I want to know what he's doing.
Which is
I'm
next
sure we're gonna
episode.
get a lot of him once like this like supposed tournament arc comes up, but then it's gonna be like a tournament arc for like 5 episodes. They're gonna be like, what the fuck? Still want to know more about Sakuna now.
I think it's
Like
the
I
rest
have
of
this
the
problem
season.
where I have this problem. Yeah, well, I have this problem where I
It's
want
too
them
good.
to be doing multiple things, but they're so focused on one thing, and it's so good that I'm just like, but I wish you would just do
Yeah.
the other side of the fucking coin too at the same time. Like I feel like they could do it. I didn't like Junpei at all. I hated his character. I thought that he was like a very forced. I was like from the start, I was like, this guy's gonna die. Like he's literally gonna die. And it was pretty obvious to me. That's why I was just like, fuck this guy. I just feel like his morality was really skewed and didn't make sense. Um, his mom dying was fucked up. I don't see why his mom dying would do anything though. Like it feels like she was just randomly killed. Um, because they were gonna kill him anyway. But I get the whole plan to bait Itadori into like a domain, but then he fucking pulls Nanami into the domain, so it didn't make sense.
No,
Um,
no. The domain actually made sense why he didn't pull Itadori in the domain at the end there.
because
Because
of Sukuna. Yeah.
Because so his infinite domain literally touches you, right? Because that's his whole thing. It amplifies your power, right? And so his power is if you touch with the soul of a palm, he can transform your soul. You saw what happened when he tried to touch Itadori earlier. Like Sukuna was like, I'll give you one, because you're a bro. But like you do that again,
But
and so he traps him in the domain, but then forgets that like it's not impenetrable, right?
I-
He's so transfixed by it, and then ends up biting him in the ass.
Anyway,
But
just to
yeah, go
finish,
ahead.
if you can hold on to your thoughts for
Yeah.
a second, Sean.
Here,
Just to
here.
finish my shot. I really wish like if the show was 24 episodes or 12, if like it was finished at the same time, it probably is number one by a long shot is my thing. But the fact that we're only halfway through and two of our characters aren't fully developed to the point where I don't really know anything about them, like two of the three main characters. And honestly, Itadori's not even that fleshed out if you think about it. He's just kind of like like not to compare, but he's literally like Naruto before he became an actual character. Like he's just pro tag. That's all he is. It's just pro tag right now,
Mm.
and he's so plot armor because he's Sukuna in him. It's like this dude is just like not really doing anything. Like, oh, he doesn't kill. Okay, well then he went and killed. I appreciated that he actually fucking grew as a character. But it's like, he's just there and he's not doing anything yet. So I can't give this show one because Akudama's characters are way better.
I would say
I'm done.
I argue like he's growing as the show's progressing. It just feels like he isn't growing because it's not as fast as other shows.
I want to go, and I'll address that point first because it's the most complicated thing for me. Like Dylan said, this ending chunk of this half of Jujutsu Kaisen is really complicated for me because I like what they do developing Itadori because you are fleshing out a character's morals and you are making him have to decide. What I don't like about it is that Junpei is very clearly only here to do that. And that's why like I'm so iffy about everything with Junpei because I like what they do with it. I enjoy the scenes with it, but I also feel like we already have characters who could have done this. I feel like his friends back at his school could have perfectly have filled the role that Junpei does and have been an even stronger personal connection to him. That losing them and pushing him that way may have worked. Uh, I I like Junpei and I don't. It's a really like iffy place for me where I feel that Akadama kept me the whole way, like you guys say Jujutsu Kaisen did for you. Jujutsu Kaisen never dipped. Like I don't think Jujutsu Kaisen, in the same way I don't think Akadama ever has an episode I would consider under an 8 out of 10 on its episode scale. I just think that in the beginning of Jujutsu Kaisen and Akadama, both shows ride super high, and then like the end chunk of Jujutsu Kaisen are just solid 8s the whole way through. Like it doesn't raise the bar for me at the end with anything it does, whereas Akadama just rides itself out on a high note, in my opinion. One of my biggest problems with this ending chunk, is that I don't understand their plan. They set up this barrier that is only supposed to allow certain people in, purposely to lure Itadori, And then the idea is that if it's Mahito is his name, right?
Yes, Mahito is
If
the
if
patchwork
if
dude.
Mahito can beat Itadori, he's supposed to beat him and give him the finger? And if he can't beat him, they don't know what's going to happen because they haven't thought about that part of the plan yet. And it's going pretty well. And then Nanami enters the field somehow. Is he able to? I thought the rules on that confused me because I thought they had set it so a certain sorcery level couldn't get through, and I thought it was specifically so that Nanami couldn't interfere, and he
Okay,
does.
so he was never he never finished his schooling to become a top tier. He's classified because he himself doesn't have his own domain.
Yeah,
He never will.
He never will.
that feels so weird. But to continue my thought here, they don't do anything with the finger. He doesn't get the finger. Their idea was they were going to give him the finger, right? They wanted him to have the finger because they want to grow Sukuna. They never give him the finger. Nothing happens with it. So the villains walk out of there with nothing changing besides killing a pawn that they could have used further to help manipulate Itadori.
And nearly dying.
Yeah, which
So,
like
I
develop
also
his domain. It's very important. It him getting so close to death pushes him to get stronger to use his domain. I understand that, but like that whole section feels anticlimactic and only like it's being used to develop Itadori's morals. It's the only thing we get out of it. What I will say is what I think is the strongest part of that ending. Sorry, is the Jujutsu Stroll of episode 13. That might be one of the most compelling scenes the show has, where it is, sorry, the rest of our group making the food that Itadori taught them and thinking about him, and Itadori making the food, and even saying like, they can make it as well. I know they can.
Even Nanami.
That is such a nice scene and is so good and hits home the point that I think Dylan said of, man, I wish I was spending time with these other characters too. I wish I knew anything about the second years. I wish we looked more into our new first years. We spent so much time with Junpei only to use him to develop Itadori, and we got nowhere else with anyone else for 5 episodes. And in a time when Jujutsu Kaisen was doing so good developing the whole cast continuously, I understand we need to develop Itadori, and I like the stuff we get with Nanami. But I just feel like, for me, the show hits like a stagnant line of, this is really good. It just doesn't push that barrier. And I don't... And I'm 100% comfortable if I watch the second half of Jujutsu Kaisen saying it is by far, better than Akudama at that point in time. But right now, I can't say it's better than Akudama.
It seems like your and Dylan's opinions are basically the same as my opinion on the endings, right? Like, we both have similar opinions on this show, but our weighting is how we interpreted the ending of Akudama, and because it's an ending, like it obviously has more weight on our like overall feelings of the show, right? Because for me, like I'm very very big on endings. I love Code Geass for that reason. It's one of
Yes.
my favorite shows for that reason, and I think endings are one of the most important parts you can do in a show. And so if I don't like it, it really, really does not like sit well with me on a show.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it comes down to here is like you guys really, really like the endings of Akudama, and I did not. Therefore, I rated it slightly lower. And like again, like I will say, like these 3 shows, by the way, all really close.
Oh, absolutely.
Like all
Yeah.
super close.
I
like,
agree.
But like for me, it was just like Jujutsu Kaisen was just like constantly like, yeah, but like I kind of just liked this better. But like, yeah, like I think it just comes down to like how we interpreted the ending of Akudama. But
The other thing for me, and this is entirely also another part of it, and Dylan said it too, so I know he feels the same way here. I just the characters just feel so much more fleshed out, and that can partially be paired with the fact that there is a clear cut ending in Akudama. I that doesn't mean that I think Jujutsu Kaisen characters are garbage. Absolutely not. I love them to the point that I want to see more of them, and that's the thing. Like Akudama does that well, and it gives me that, and it gave me that in the 13 episodes. I think Jujutsu Kaisen could have given me more. But again, these are really close. These were really close,
think
and was
also
something I
part of
had
that
to
is
decide.
it's a long running anime. Like this is a
Oh,
shonen
yeah.
that this
Like-
is a shonen that has like big 3 potential.
Exactly.
Right?
Like
So like there's no way you're gonna get the character development you need to be satisfied in like 20 episodes
In
in
the
40
same
episodes.
in the same way, we've had to do this before.
Mhm.
We knew back in winter that Dorohedoro had much more to go off of, but it had an ending point that we got. We knew that God of High School was gonna get a second season.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Come on.
It will.
It has to be good quality though to get to a second season, right?
It will
That's a
get it.
discussion for another day.
Crunchyroll is throwing money at it. That's not the point.
True.
But we had to make that call, and I'm not saying that in every one of those situations, the show that is continuing should lose out. I think if it deserves it, it deserves it. It's just in my book, Akadama took it. While we let other people talk, I need to go grab a drink. I'll be back.
All right.
Think
Sean,
about
tell
God,
me.
God of High School made me think of a show that's coming out next year. I don't remember what it's called, but it's just gods fighting people like
Rag-
legendary heroes.
Ragnarok.
Yeah,
Record of
Oh,
Ragnarok.
oh,
Record of
yeah,
Ragnarok's
yeah.
getting an
That's
anime, but
going
let's
to be
let's
amazing.
let's not worry about that right now.
Yeah,
Michael,
unimportant.
Tommy, talk about Jujutsu Kaisen.
No, that sounds good.
This Jujutsu Kaisen, very good show. It's very hard for me to think of anything bad this show did. I don't know what to say. I liked all the characters. I think Itadori is an amazing protagonist. I really like all of our side characters that interact with him. Gojo being top tier silly man. I like the bits Nanami has with him. I don't know if Nanami's going to continue being an important character, but I liked what we got of him because now he finally has his like closure because we saw his backstory. I think Nobara and Fushiguro are going to be amazing characters when they finally get to develop into people. I cannot wait to see more of Panda, Rice Ball guy, and girl who fights with weapons. I don't remember any of their names.
And I don't remember race.
I don't remember his name. I want to say his name's Onigiri, but I know it's not. It's just the word for Rice Ball. I was really sad to see Junpei die because one, I wanted to see him continue and become a character more with Itadori. So I thought he was really cool. Also, I enjoyed seeing Junpei and Itadori nerd out about movies for like 5 minutes to one episode. It was really funny. It's hard for me. Like not having an ending really hurts the show for me. Not only like it's bad, it's just it's
Mhm.
hard to rate it with the other ones. And also in my brain, this show is just another shonen. It's very much not. It is its own very distinct thing. But this is the same thing that happened with Dorohedoro 3 seasons ago. It was a very good show, but in my brain it was just, oh, it's another action show. And I rated it below Somali, which part of me disagrees with now, because Somali was a good show, but Dora was a masterpiece. Yeah. Things.
My mic
I
was muted, but damn straight. Continue.
I am personally putting Jujutsu at number 3. It's not. I'm not saying it's a bad
Holy
show.
shit!
I was-
okay.
I was-
I think.
Fuck.
I was
think the
wondering
other
who
two-
did it.
I think the other two just do. I think finishing their stories just puts them over the top for me. I don't think Jujutsu's a bad
Okay,
show.
fair enough.
I
fair
think
enough.
none of these are below a 9 at all.
That's
But,
how
like,
I feel.
It's just super hard to rank them. I have been deliberating the entire past day whether I thought Taiso or Jujutsu was better. I just think Taiso's ending was really clean.
We'll talk about it. I will say I put Jujutsu at 2. To me,
Yeah.
and I'll explain this when we get to Taiso. It's clear cut. There's a fine line between Jujutsu and Taiso for me. And I'll talk about why. But I also there was a fine line between Akadama and Jujutsu for me as well. But Tommy, Jujutsu Kaisen, he'll get here.
Tommy's muted.
Cam, your
no.
mic's muted. Does he know?
He's on phone, so he could have stepped away.
Yeah.
But
In the meantime, Michael, wait for Tommy. Give Jujutsu Kaisen its awards.
So Jujutsu Kaisen wins the awards for best opening and ending because there wasn't much competition.
Tonikawa's opening's really good.
Yes, but like in terms of the whole package, Jujutsu's opening and ending are both really good.
It does
I love the art
update
style of the
its
ending.
opening.
Its opening was so good. And in terms of like purely songs, those are I have both of those songs currently in my to listen to whenever I feel like playlist. Yeah, very good. It also wins cleanest animation because I think overall its animation was the best of the three. Akadama has some iffy scenes. Taiso has CG gymnastics. Yeah, and it wins the award for best boy of the season with Itadori. It could also go to Gojo. This was a very difficult choice. There were like 8 boys. I was talking to Sean right before this. I'm like, Sean, there's like 5 or 6 boys this season that all deserve best boy. That being Itadori, Gojo, didn't even mention then. Jotaro, Leo, the kid who likes Ray,
We'll talk about it.
and then Brawler, Hoodlum, and Courier. Every guy this goddamn season was amazing.
And your joke award.
And then the Inside Joke Award gets Best Stroll. So I couldn't think of a sillier one for this one.
Okay.
Could have gone best taste in women.
Shit, you right.
True. Yo, Tommy, you here?
I don't think he is.
Signaling Tommy. It's okay. Do we wanna like we'll backtrack to Tommy when he's here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I have water. So I can talk again.
Good.
But does anyone else want to talk Taiso first?
Actually, I have Tommy's number. I'm gonna text him. Go ahead, though.
Okay, because I talked Taiso. I talked to Akadama first. So if someone else wants to talk Taiso first, particularly Dodge. I mean, I'm curious. Do you want to take this first? He's
You
also
said he'd be
muted.
right back.
Oh, he did.
Oh, he said he'd be
Beautiful.
right back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll wait a hot minute. Cause there he is. Hey Dodge, you
I'm
wanna
back,
talk?
hi.
You wanna talk Taiso first?
I can if you'd like.
I talked to Akadama
Taiso.
first, so like,
Taiso.
talk to me about
That's
Taiso, cause you put it above Akadama. I want to hear
So, yeah.
this.
So Taiso Samurai had one of the most consistently increasing interest curves of any show this season for me. Where like it started off kind of like shallow because it's a very slow building show, right? Like a lot of these, drama or like slice of life type shows, they're slow build and there's a big climax and then you have a conclusion, right? In this show, it kind of it did a really good job of continuously building. I wasn't the biggest seller of this early on. I think the setting is good. I think the music is great. The sound design is fantastic. This gets my ear rape award for the season. Well, I guess it's like ear pop, but like it's ear porn rather. For the season. The show just continuously builds as it progresses, and like I love what they did with the characters. I like how they built up the characters. I don't think they did Leo justice at the very end of the show. To me, they kind of just glossed over like, okay, he's over it now thing, because he sees Joe's performance, right? But I love how Joe became when he became the focus again. Like it actually drew me back in. I thought I was gonna hate it once it switched away from Ray being the main focus for like 2 or 3 episodes, but then they bring it back into Joe, and it's like, okay, he is here, and he ain't fucking around, right? To the point where it literally like fucked with his opponents, right? Because it's like, okay, this old guy's just like destroying, like what's going on here? And even like what was it Minato? Is the other kid?
Yeah.
He was off the first day. Made the top cut, and then obviously of course he's going to compete with Joe for the top spot because that's it's the anime. But I thought it was really good. I thought it was well done. I thought the final like 2 episodes were really good, especially the last episode. I was really happy with the end of the show, and like I said, I really like endings. So that put it just a little, it just edged out Akadama because I didn't like that ending as much as I liked Taiso's, and I felt like Taiso's was a more like holistically complete story, right? It had a start, it had a finish, it had its climax, it had its characters, and it did a good job. It did a good job in all of it. It didn't like knock me out of the park in any aspect, right? But it didn't really let me down in any aspect either, outside of like I said, like the very end where it's like Leo's back on stage, right? And they go visit him 2 years later, or whatever. I thought the race scene at the airport was really cute too. But that's my thoughts on it. It just barely edges out Akadama, and then there's like a little bit like if I had to give it a rating, like a half a point gap between those two and Jujutsu Kaisen probably.
So I'm gonna talk Taiso. The reason I had to put Taiso at 3 was because, in my personal opinion, I can recall episodes of Taiso where I felt like it dipped below what I would have liked. And it's just, to me, Jujutsu Kaisen and Akudama never did that. There is definitely an argument that Taiso has a really strong curve of getting better and getting more interesting. That is certainly there. I don't disagree with that, and I can understand why someone would put it as 2 over one of the other shows that they have a problem with it. If there's like another something else that bothers them more. I think Taiso has some incredible moments in its ending, in its last 2 episodes. What they do with their side characters is impressive because they don't need to do it. The show could just continue with Joe and Ray and Leo and be fine. To have this small subplot of Taki, the other gymnast from Joe's group, and his love for Aya, and it being silly and goofy, but him also being the 3rd place finish in this competition because he just goes out there and he works hard and he does the shit that he likes to do. And like the other top gymnasts talk about it. They say, like, the one looks at him and he goes, "What's different about us from the 3 of them? The only thing I can think of is they just do whatever they want. Like, they don't think about technique. They just go out there, they have something they want to do, and they do it. And that's why they're doing so well." And I think that's a really interesting way to convey that. And then we get the scene where Joe does his final performance, and he does the Aragaki. He then does a piked Aragaki, which I don't understand the exact difference between. It's because he twists his hands. Is that what it is?
I think
It's
it's
his
doing
legs.
it's doing something right after doing something else. I think is part of it. It's
I
that
thought-
there's no extra spin between them.
I thought it was the angle of the legs.
It's
where
something.
might also be
like,
part
doing
of
a
it.
thing.
It's something. Taiso doesn't really need us to care about
Yeah.
what it is, but he does another Aragaki, and the important part about that is that he fails that the last time he did it, and it's the day.
That's what he failed.
Yeah, that's when he failed. Is that he tried to do it again, and not only does he do that, he then sticks the Aragaki too, which is his dismount, and he needs a 9.95, and he gets a 9.9. He gets a 9.975,
7.5.
which
Yep.
is still, I
7.5.
think, what that I don't remember if
No.
that is just barely above Tetsuo's score on that performance, which makes sense because he's doing things that they say are not only the highest rank possible, but so much,
Above the
but
highest difficulty.
it's needlessly complicated for no goddamn reason.
Yep.
And that's a really great way to describe Joe as a character, is that he does shit that's needlessly complicated for no goddamn reason, and it makes him really enjoyable to
Mhm.
watch. And then the part that like really got me, because I don't think the show needed to do this, and I don't even think it's a shocker, but it's nice to have, is the scene afterwards where Tetsuo's coach places his hand on his shoulder and tells him, "It is the one guy you respect in the world of gymnastics that
That
beats
was
you."
so good.
And the tear rolls down the kid's eye. And I think that's really compelling because it's not surprising that he treats Joe like shit because he idolizes him and he's no longer at the top of his game. He's very similar to Leo in that regard, that Leo idolizes Joe, but instead of thinking Joe's washed up, Leo doesn't want to watch him fail again. Like that's Leo's whole thing at the end, is he's watching Joe and doesn't want to go see him perform again because he doesn't want him to fail, because then it's a sign that all that hard work doesn't mean anything.
But it's also the same feeling for Leo and for Tetsuo.
Yeah.
Right? Because they both just one wants him to keep doing gymnastics and succeed, and the other one wants him to stop because he's afraid he's gonna fail, right, and make a bigger mockery of his legacy.
Yeah.
Right. And it's these two clashing dynamics that we don't really see until this last episode too.
And we have that small interaction earlier when they're running together, and they try to express that.
Yeah.
I think it's much stronger here when they don't even talk to each other.
Oh
What?
my god, I had a point I was gonna make too, and I forgot about. Oh, I was gonna say, can we talk about how the art's gotten better with each performance too?
I
Was it just me?
also love the fire aspect around Joe when they do it.
Oh, the fucking
when
superset,
he
yo.
fucking
yeah,
flares
The
up.
zone. He gets in the zone, Crocono basket
Yeah,
style, just
my-
like gets in there and hits it.
My last point about this, I agree wholeheartedly. Jujutsu Kaisen's ED musically is amazing.
Cool.
Taiso's ending to me is the most thematically appropriate ending of the season, and it is used so well in the show that when the show transitions into the ED, it gives me chills because it works, it fits, it's so nice to have it. I should talk about this though as well. I am fine with the show not showing us the Olympics, because
I
as much
agree.
as I think that's an important competition, it's not the important competition to Joe. This was. Um, I'm perfectly comfortable with them just going to Leo's performance 2 years later. I feel like maybe we could have gotten more. Like I feel like maybe we could have dived into more of the aftermath of these characters. But I also feel like it hits everything I need. Like it doesn't need like it going farther would have been nice, but I'm comfortable with what it gave me.
So, sitting here thinking about things, I actually kind of put this over Akadama now, but
Ooh.
I've already submitted. I'm
That's why
just
you
sitting
go
here thinking,
submit.
yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking, this show did everything that I wanted it to in the
Mhm.
last 2 episodes. Not only did we get the first day competition, we got the second day competition. We got to see all of the activities, all the different gym, just everything from the back spring to the floor to the horse
pommel horse.
thing, pommel horse, to the
Stationary
bar,
rings.
the
We didn't
rings.
see it, Joe do the ring, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I thought
We
we saw
saw
him on them
we
for a
saw
moment,
stuff.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we didn't see him actually do a full routine.
And I was very glad to see that because we hadn't before throughout the entire season.
It's gonna be an echo
Um,
for a second. I apologize.
No problem. I liked how he 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 was in the zone to begin with, but always looking up to see if Leo was there. And there was the side of him he was like, okay, well, maybe he won't come, but I'm still gonna do my best I can. And then the scene where he hears Ray and just looks back and shouts out at them, and then sees Leo and is just there, and he's like, okay, nice. Now I can do what I wanted to do before. Fire goes out from his back, and just the sheer determination that you see, and I loved it. And then there was a scene where Tetsuo was crying, right? He took off his bandana, right? I think that was a little thing with his own character with himself, how Joe is the samurai. I kind of need to be someone my own self, right?
Yeah.
And then he took it off. I felt like that was a big character moment. That was just not said, possibly.
I had forgotten about that.
I thoroughly enjoyed the last half of this show. I think everything that I wanted to happen happened.
Yeah, and that's where I'll raise that like small argument that I said, where to me personally, well, I like Taiso's ending a lot. To me, Akadama's ending wasn't like I liked it a lot. I couldn't imagine disliking Akadama's ending enough that it lowers the whole show below Taiso's consistency. Like Taiso's consistently a solid show, but we didn't start to really like it. The whole podcast didn't start to really like it till the end sweep, right? So for me, it's hard. It was hard to justify, in my case, with Jujutsu Kaisen, putting it over Jujutsu Kaisen, because I didn't think, even if I personally liked Taiso's ending better, I didn't think the show collectively raised itself over those two. It's really close. Like Dodge said, for me
And I think there's a lot
personally,
of recency bias too.
for me,
right?
yeah, for me personally, Akadama, like right now, and this is like just after finishing it, it'll probably dip down to a 9, like a high 9 when I'm done with it. Like it just barely breaks a 10 for me. I really like Akadama Drive. Jujutsu Kaisen's like a 9.7, probably. Like it's a high 9, and then Taiso's like a 9.2. Like they're like, if I had to give them like rankings on how far they are on that scale, like all these shows are 9s for me.
What the fuck? How?
Welcome back.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I actually fell asleep. But I was listening to someone talk. I'm not gonna lie, I closed my eyes. Their voice just put me to sleep.
Ooh, it
I
must
don't
have been
remember who
me.
it was.
Probably Jackman.
John should make an ASMR
It's probably Jackman.
channel.
I think it was
Hey
Jackman.
guys,
I think
welcome
he was
to
Jackman should
talking
make an
about
ASMR
Yes,
channel.
welcome to the ASMR edition. We're going to be talking quietly and talking
Okay,
Oh,
so
fuck.
Dust Dog, I looked it up. A piked move in
yeah,
a horizontal
bent
bar
at the hips.
means you have to bend at the hips
I
only.
was
You cannot
right.
bend your knees.
Wild.
That's why we saw him kind of like bent over as he was flipping. Which, by the way,
Yeah.
even more insane that he flipped 3 times while doing that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
Hey, Tommy.
Hello.
Let's do this a second. We are talking about Taiso, but
No, I got that. I got that.
I think you should tell us about Jujutsu Kaisen first. Your thoughts on it.
I mean, since you guys already talked about it, I'll just say like I rank this number 1. There was only one episode out of the 13 that we saw that I was actually kind of, I guess I'd say like bored with, or not as entertained. Other than the one episode that I'm referring to, which I think the episode for me was the one that they were like explaining the what was it, the sorcerers and the demons, and then they were following Junpei, like, and then Junpei was getting bullied by the teacher, and then Itadori comes out. Like, that was the only episode I was like, okay, not much happens. But then we get the whole ending scene where the dude goes into like overtime or whatever. But like that was the only episode that I was kind of like bored with, or maybe the episode where was it Megami? Is that his name? The dude with the shadows or whatever. It's been a long time since we've seen him. The episode where Megami and that dude from the other school fight, where it was like just kind of like filler episode. Like those are the only parts of the episodes where I was like kind of bored and could have gone without. But I mean, other than that, the show like every week, it's like I'm like looking forward to watch it, and the other ones like didn't really do that for me. So
You're telling me
Action
you weren't
slut.
excited to watch all of Taiso?
bro,
I feel like binging that show would be hard.
it was.
It's a very good week-to-week show, but I feel like I could not watch 12 episodes in like 3
I
days.
smudged the corner of my screen that had the like little fast forward button because I was just skipping through that shit. Yeah, no, that show is not my cup of tea. Whoever said the ending of Taiso was great, couldn't disagree harder. I feel like I could have written that in my sleep. But that's
I think that was you.
It was me, yeah.
I also said that.
I also liked how the ankle thing wasn't a big problem, right?
Yes.
then why introduce it?
That's my problem.
I like how it
Tension,
it made
tension.
an effect on things
What
and added tension, but it
tension?
wasn't like the main focus, right?
It made things harder the first
No.
day.
And the second day, no, the second day made it harder because that's
No,
actually
Yeah.
I am sorry.
putting a
Hold
lot of
on.
weight on it.
No,
I'm
it
gonna-
literally never was brought back up. He was just wrapping his leg all
was.
day. No.
He was
was,
wrapping it,
it
and he
was.
was like visibly wincing in a lot of his landings.
Okay,
No.
okay, wait.
Yes.
If you have a
No.
sprained, if you have a sprained ankle or whatever, and you are, I'm just gonna assume Joe is what, like 200 pounds, maybe 205. I don't know how tall he is, right? Right, he's pretty big.
Probably
I'm
one.
sorry, if you are 15 feet in the air doing triple flips, landing on that ankle, you are going down to the ground. You are not landing that. You
Yes.
like you will not like, I don't want to say
He
survive
did
that, but-
have.
You'd be amazed what
I don't
drugs can do.
know. I don't know what the timeline was, but he did have a like. I want to say like half a week before the competition.
Fuck that, bro. Sprained ankles last a long time.
Yo, he has the world's greatest acupuncture, though.
He does.
He does have
Like,
Brittany.
Oh my god, I'm so glad someone else had the same problem as me because I was one of the biggest races. I'm like, okay, it's just guaranteed third. Like, get the fuck out of here. This is go. The other two shows are completely like 9 is generous. I would not give this show a 9 in my opinion.
I would
Third?
not give
Two.
it-
I-
I would give
Two,
Akudama
I'm
a
sorry.
9.
I really
Third?
like Taiso.
Sure, take it. But like calling this shit above a 9, no, absolutely not. The one of the biggest, and someone mentioned this before, Leo's character is completely gypped at the end of this entire thing, and honestly, I don't know why they were this whole like getting him back from his fucking secret agents was even a thing, because okay, what this show baited me really hard though, so this is why I'm very angry with the show. Because if you watch the opening, and their opening's really cool, I like their opening. It's him, it's fucking Joe,
Tetsuo.
Mino,
Yeah.
and Leo, all in like gymnastics outfits and shit, like training outfits. And the entire show, I was thinking he was gonna do gymnastics.
They were in dance outfits.
But they're leotards, so it's.
They were in leotards.
Well, at like when they're in that jacket shit, like the athletic
Yeah,
jacket.
they're just
Oh,
wearing
yeah.
athletic jackets.
Yeah. So I always thought
Oh, can I
Still
buy the
fun.
Elderwood Zyachrome without having the skin? I
Oh,
can.
it's up. It's up.
Oh, it's back.
Cool.
Pablo, continue.
Okay, so I don't know where you lost me, but I'll back.
You were
I will
complaining
back.
about the ankle. No, you were complaining about Leo. You were still complaining about Leo.
Oh.
Oh, jeez, you lost me that
Okay.
far back.
Yeah, it was
All
a
right.
couple. It
God.
was a couple. It was a couple of minutes. My apologies.
Okay,
Ooh.
well, I will backtrack to my first thought, which was that so Leo's character, I really enjoyed his character, but I really wanted him to have some part in the gymnastics along with them. I really felt like
Yeah.
his whole ninja thing
Mhm.
was that they explained it as, oh, he was just so interested in Joe the samurai. Well, why was he a ninja? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. But I think Leo's character got gypped at the end. I didn't think the whole Secret Service and like them like driving to get him from the airport made sense or mattered or like really was impactful to the story. The whole like Joe fire thing, I like the competition, like I was saying. However, my problem with the competition was that it was it was easy to see what was gonna happen, right? Like Leia was gonna show up at the end, Joe was gonna get this all like second win to win the competition because Minamo turned on his jets and basically win the competition doing his moves that he's been practicing, right? My problem with the competition along with that was that we forgot about the other three parts of gymnastics that existed: the pommel horse, the horizontal bars, and the rain. No, just the mat, just the I don't remember that
Floor
event's called.
exercise.
The floor. Yeah. Completely forgot about those events. So it didn't really make sense why he was so good at those when literally every time we saw him training, he was just doing the horizontal bar. But I guess you can't show everything in training. That's fine. Complain about that another day. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the show had a decent ending, but to compare this to the other two shows that we have here just seems really forced and like I don't know. Like it seems like an opinion that can't really be logistically founded upon because the show is not the same quality as other two shows. In terms of like characters, like we never saw anything from the daughter later. Okay, one thing I did like about the show was how she strangled the bird in episode 11. That was
That's really
amazing.
good.
Honestly, I wish the bird died.
Fuck that bird, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Like 11 episode show. If maybe one more episode would have done it for them, but like, man, it just feels like Leo's character was gypped at the end. It felt like
Mhm.
it wasn't a satisfying ending because that was just Japan qualifiers for the Olympics. Like, there's literally dudes who are better than these guys in China.
Yeah.
Like, you're not even that good, bro. Like, damn. And yeah.
I could see this show getting an OVA.
An OVA would be kind of pog.
The Olympic
An OVA
OVA.
that's just like the Olympics.
Kind of like how Major got a World Series OVA for 2 episodes.
Yeah, there's a couple of shows that do this. And
So-
again, that doesn't change anything about what we got. Like that's the important thing.
No.
Like what we got is what we got.
Oh, and I complained about the sprained ankle more,
Yeah.
but I think you already know my
So
thoughts
the
on that.
main thing I wanted to bring up though is with Tommy, like one of Tommy's biggest points is that, and same with Pablo, is that the ending felt really predictable. But my question is, if you guys enjoy Haikyuu or any sports anime, do you expect anything less from a sports anime that's 12 episodes?
Well,
No,
like,
11.
which
feel-
is why I didn't like this show.
I think you can
But
do good things with it, and I think you can be in a good off spot. And that's why and again, I
think they
enjoyed
did a good job
Taiso for
with it.
for separate reasons than that you guys have problems with. Like I really like Taiso because I look at it differently from Haikyuu. Like
Yeah. So I personally don't categorize this as a sports anime
I'd agree.
because
it's a sports drama.
because
Yeah, fair.
it's not the first 6 episodes were not mainly focused on gymnastics. They were there, the ideas were there. It was more of a character development. That's why I can't categorize it as a sports anime.
It's a character drama that has sports in it.
Yes.
It's
If-
like
if-
stars
if this-
align.
If this was nothing but gymnastics from the get-go, almost like sports climbing girls or fucking Haikyuu, right? Then it'd be categorized, and I think it would have been different. But because it didn't just directly go into sports, it kind of just like eased into it. We saw some, we didn't see a lot of it. It was more character focused, and then it just kind of hits you all at once. You're like, okay, so this is the underlining, right? That's why I can't categorize that as sports.
I
Yes,
think.
I mean,
Oh,
even if you
God.
don't categorize it as sports, I think you can have an expectation for the ending
Yeah.
that's met, and like I think you can still argue it did it well for what it is. Like, because it's not a sports anime, I think it's even more obvious how the ending is going to be for a like sports scene in an anime, because it's either going to be one of two things: either they're going to win or they're going to lose, and the main character will get consoled by everything will be happy at the end, right?
Because it could have
But
gone two
yeah.
ways. It could have just the ankle fucked him
I think the ankle,
the
yeah.
entire thing, and that just would have been the end of it, or this ending. I think this is the better choice.
Do we have anything
Sure,
else to say about? Has
sure.
anyone not talked
Well,
about Taiso?
Well-
Tommy had a point we wanted to make.
Well, I was just gonna say that, like, I think the reason why this ending was so like
Meh to you.
distasteful for me was because of how it was laid out. How you said the first 6 episodes weren't gymnastics, and then they just kind of throw it in your face, and like that's the rest of the show. Because when you have this qualifier, this is like the thing that he's been working for since since pretty much like the beginning of the show, and then like they jam it all into, I don't even want to say 40 minutes, because it was more like 25 over 2 episodes, like because there's a lot of like outside uh stuff, right? You just jam this whole entire possible arc essentially. You could have done, I mean, there's no way. I don't think they would have gotten the funding for this, but I'm saying like they could have done like what Haikyuu did with season 3, where the whole 12 episodes was just the match against Iwatorizawa, right? Like that was the entire third season, was that 3-game match. Where I know they only had 2 episodes left, but they did every like part of the qualifiers in like 20 minutes, and they didn't give any like, I guess they showed, yes, Joe getting the top score on the first day. They showed this guy who was predicted to be the first place. He kind of shit the bed the first day. Like that was his competition. They showed one guy on the second day that they showed the fuck is his name? The guy, the love dude, the green haired guy.
Catchy.
Yes. They showed him on day 2, and he got like the top score on the horizontal bars.
He was third place overall.
Right, right. Um, but I think it's like I don't have to explain why this was predictable. Everybody knows how, like, why I think it's predictable, but the fact that it like just was for me, that as soon as this guy comes in on the second day and he's just going beast mode, and then in the last event he's ahead by 2 points, I'm like, oh, so Joe's just gonna get 2 more points and win. Like he's gonna do his quadruple flip or whatever that he's been practicing from the beginning, and he's gonna win. Like it's it's it was so laid out for me that there was no surprise factor. There was nothing to look forward to, and then I mean, I don't know if we're getting a season 2 or not. I really don't care, but it didn't it didn't the ending didn't do anything for me, and like it didn't wrap up anything for me either. I mean, like him winning it like after practicing and being like, I'm gonna do this with a sprained ankle, I'm gonna be the best no matter what. Like, okay, but now what? I mean, do we have the Olympics? Do we have the do we have more uh like tournaments or meets or whatever they're called? Like I don't see, I don't see me watching if there's a season 2, honestly. I guess being forced to watch it also gave me a pretty bad like view upon it, but I was not pleased with this, and that's it's sort of like Pablo. It's like this was just the definitive third place for me, like
You
compared
were
to the
not
other 2. So
entertained.
I was
I-
not.
You're
So
not entertained.
I have an opinion that I try not to let influence my. I didn't have this influence my decision on how I ranked it, but I really thought, and this was partial because, like Dylan, from the opening and from the things we had with Leo, I thought he was a gymnast, not a dancer. I was really hoping that Joe would lead through the qualifier and we would have extra episodes, and he would place first, but Tetsuo would place second, and Leo would somehow compete and get third, and they would be a team at the Olympics. I thought it'd be really nice. It was something. It is the one thing that I would love from this show if that happened.
That'd
It's
be
like
pretty
the
dope.
only way that gets elevated for me. But again, I didn't let that go into my judgment because I like to look at what I got, and with what I got, what didn't. Like it's. I try not to do like a whole what if, could make a show, because you could do it to any show, and any show could be better that way. But that was like the one thing that was on my mind that I really thought about. I don't know if we've talked about it. The boy, in Ray's
Oh, yeah.
class. I really like what they do with him as a really, really small side character. I think it's nice. That's just the other thing I haven't
think it's
talked about
cute.
that I like.
I
kinda
respect
cool.
the simping. I'm just saying he
I-
wasn't there in 2 years, so he must not have gotten it.
I really like the scene where he's talking to someone. I don't remember who. He goes, "If you want, I could get on my knees and say sorry."
What-
I adored because it's a reference back to when Leo did Ninja Art Dogiza.
What I really like is when he talks to Ray and he's just like, I don't understand why you guys are just letting him go. He would never act like that. He was
Yeah, that's
always
just
a
not him.
ninja. He was always a ninja in service of your family. That was who he was when he was here. So why is he just throwing it away? Like, that is a compelling thing. And it really hits home that I
Yeah.
wish we got more with Leo at this end. Yeah.
Where the kid's just like, wait, he's just fucking lying. Like,
Yeah,
is he stupid?
he's the only intelligent human being in that singular second
Everyone
who's
else is like
speaking.
tiptoeing around. Everyone else is tiptoeing around it because of Ray, but he's a kid, so he doesn't have to give a shit. Because none of
Yeah.
them do. They're kids. They don't have to be logical. Kids will say what they want to say because they don't have that like social boundary.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's exactly what you need to progress the plot.
So,
Well, something
Michael,
I
have you
mentioned in
talked?
I haven't, but like
Okay.
something I mentioned in the little break. I really liked the 2 or 3 scenes we have where Brittany yells in the auditorium.
Mhm.
They were just really well done. I don't know. Hearing Brittany just fucking belt and the entire fucking audience go, "What the fuck?" And then when he's like, small child's like, "Yeah, Joe, Ray's gonna get him, I swear." And Joe's just like, "Heck yeah." It was a good scene. I don't know, one thing I really want to talk about. I think everyone else has talked, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So I'm gonna start going into my awards because my first award is a very important one for this show, which I gave it the best use of music / sound.
You're in agreement with me on that.
One of my favorite scenes of this entire season, just in general, was in episode 11 when Joe gets on the horizontal bar and the music cuts for a bit, and you just hear the squeaking of his hands against the bar. Then after his first few rotations, the music, that little like guitar riff, starts to pick up, or the like acoustic guitar thing. Oh my god, that entire thing where he's just on the horizontal bar, so good. That entire scene.
The-
Um,
Yeah. go
yeah,
ahead.
this show's music was amazing. I can't give it like the best like OST because I don't remember any of the OST being particularly
Jujutsu
amazing.
Kaisen's OST is really
So-
good.
sometimes that's
Jujutsu's
the
really
be-
good. So is Akadama's. They all have really good OSTs.
Sometimes that's the best OSTs too, is the ones that you don't even remember because it's just
Yeah.
so perfect with the show
Yeah.
that you're like, your brain is just like, that's just the show. It's not the
Yeah.
OST.
Yeah, I think this show,
Which I don't know if it is
if you
the
were to
show,
watch
but-
all 3 of these shows completely muted, like with no sound, Taisa would be by far the weakest.
Oh
It
yeah.
is
Yeah.
carried super hard by its music, and I think the reason why I put it at 2 is because of how well it uses its music.
You're a big
And I'm a
music
big fucking
guy.
music nerd.
I would love to watch the show with just sound effects and no music. So you just hear squeak,
That
squeak, 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 squeak.
pop, 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 pop on the pommels.
Oh wow, what a
It'd be really funny.
Like you just hear commentators like
Dylan
whispering like you
did
do
that
on
for-
like yeah.
Dylan did that for the one episode. He didn't have sound, apparently.
Oh yeah.
That's so rough.
You were like,
I
I,
didn't
don't
have
know what
sound.
the
I
fuck
did
you're
not know.
talking about. Like, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Its second award was the closest to making me cry.
That's left.
The fucking Big Bird episode hit me way harder than it reasonably should have.
I will say
And that
too.
entire last episode, I was just in a state of just, oh no, pain. And as Sean could tell you, I'm not someone who cries ever.
Except for
Only
anime.
very few shows get me close.
Did Violet Evergarden fix that?
Nope, I
Not
have
yet.
not cried to a show
What
yet.
is wrong with you?
He hasn't
I'm a
gotten there
broken
yet.
person.
Did
Apparently,
you?
the
Did,
movie for Violet came out. Sorry, this is
Oh.
so off topic.
No,
The movie for
that's
Violet
fair.
came out,
Yes.
but it's like shitty. We have to wait for it.
I got
yeah,
actually
yeah, it
something
came out in Japan. We
real
haven't
quick,
gotten
too.
anything for it.
Yeah.
Quick, sorry, Jackman, before you go. Michael, did you cry during
go
Angel
for it.
Beats? I wasn't watching your face.
No,
Okay.
but it was real close.
I wasn't watching your face.
I was busy dying. I was busy
I was
being
busy
stabbed.
crying.
There's a scene. There's a
I
scene. In,
couldn't see your face.
there's a scene in Angel Beats where they do a shot, and then the character disappears, and it pans, and it hurts. That's all I'm gonna say.
It hurts.
Jackman, you had a
Oh.
point before you forget.
It's off topic, but
Yeah, it's fine.
it relates to gymnastics
Sure.
and the Olympics. There was a new Olympic sport coming into Japan this year at the Olympics.
Keijo?
It is-
Keijo?
It is breakdancing,
Damn it.
Mm.
and it is called
Close.
breaking.
Michael and I found a sport recently,
Mm-hmm.
It's
but
getting an
last
anime
night
next
it's
season.
getting an anime. 2 seasons.
Oh, it was next season.
Nope, it's
was
2
Kabaddi.
seasons. It's spring. It's about running into people.
It's
What
a
the
sport
fuck?
called Kabaddi. From what we could tell from 5 minutes of watching
Kabaddi.
it is a
People
is
connect
a
their
very-
hands, and then
yeah.
you run, and then someone tries to run in and break the connection, and that
like Red
group
Rover.
tries to
Okay, so
pull
it's Red
them down.
Rover.
It's Red Rover.
It's Red
yeah.
Rover, but
It's
like on a
literally Red
field.
Rover.
Competitive Red Rover.
Yeah,
it's
it's
wild
rad.
looking.
I can't
It
wait
is
to.
Yo, I'm diamond in Red Rover. What is your rank, bitch?
I can't wait to watch
Oh,
that. Are we done?
okay.
Are we done with Tyson?
Uh,
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Uh,
didn't. It has.
Oh
the,
yeah, finish
also,
the awards.
Yeah, it's award. It got best girl for Ray. This was
Let's
a
go.
also
Let's
this was also a
go.
difficult one. This was mainly just between Ray and Swindler. Nobara is also a very good choice.
Yeah, It could have been Nobara, but like she only existed in 3 episodes.
Yeah, that was
so
the issue. Nobara was there for like all 12 of them.
I
maybe.
agree.
But Ray's
13.
amazing. And then there, inside joke. It won biggest bird.
Dude, that bird scene. I never wanted a bird to die so badly in my life watching this series, but then that scene hit, I was like, fuck, don't die.
Dude, I
Don't
love to
make
see.
me
I love to see in episode
Big Bird
11 when Big Bird just fucking slides across the airport floor, and she's like, "Sorry, you
Oh.
gotta go. You gotta fucking go away. I don't need you. Stay away."
It was
Yeah,
really
what the
good.
fuck was the point in the bird being brought to begin with?
Well, because he notified Leo she was there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready to see
I-
these
Jack-
bullshit.
Jackman,
Yeah.
are you comfortable where you sit with
Yeah.
what you rank now? Are you
Yeah,
fine?
yeah,
Change it. Change it.
Yeah,
Jackman,
overall,
change it. Change it.
overall, I think Akudama's a better show
Okay.
overall. I just didn't like the ending, and I thought this ending was better.
Okay. Before we
overall,
get
yeah.
to the final results, I have a couple of stats for the season.
Heck,
Firstly,
yeah.
this is the most important one. Jackman has submitted multiple different names throughout every podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the spreadsheet from week 2. The only problem is I don't have the names.
No.
So
Oh.
we didn't put names in that one. So I'm sorry. We didn't have it. But I'm taking a couple of liberties with week 2 statistics. Don't worry about it. Jackman's names go as such: Jackman, J-Man, J-Dog Woof Woof,
No, wait, J-Man. I feel fucking slated. That's my name. You can't say that.
Jack of Climbing Girls. You'll have to explain this one to me, Jackman.
What is this one?
Cy Jackman Frostwing.
Oh,
That's a D&D
that's a D&D character.
That's a D&D character.
I see.
I was looking at my character sheet when I opened it.
This
Oh my
this one
God.
might be my favorite. Man Jack's Fingies.
Jack,
Was that Kasujutsu?
Yeah.
Drunk
what do you think?
drunk man.
Trumpman, yeah.
And then this
Drunk man.
week's Dragon Quest died for this. Honorable shout out to Tommy for his name on the particular week, which was Tommy Taiso Avoider. Felt we needed that. I have an important question. Who do you think on this podcast slayed the most shows?
Me.
Pablo.
Me.
Dylan.
It is Dylan. Here's the important question: how many
Damn.
shows do you think? How many collective slays do you think Dylan had?
Okay, hang on. How many
Can
shows did we start?
11.
Pull
Wait,
this up on the
We
stream.
started with what? 12
you
or
what?
13
I-
shows?
It was
11.
17, right? Or whoa.
What's 11?
11.
5
11?
right at the start?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
5
I had
Sorry.
3 shows.
And so it was 11 total.
Yeah.
Week 1, I think he slayed like 8.
I'm gonna guess
I'm gonna go with-
34.
I'm gonna guess 53.
47.
I'm gonna guess 35. It's a mid 30s.
Well, actually, wait. No, we've only had like
We lose a show every
9 weeks
week.
of the podcast.
Yeah, so there was only 8 votes.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah,
only
we-
8
we-
weeks to slay.
It's only episode 8, right?
This is episode
Okay,
9.
hang
Yeah,
on. Wait,
yes.
my number's way too high.
Correct.
Probably actually closer to like 25,
I'm gonna go-
26.
Well, I'm gonna go 27. What's
say
my favorite
30.
number?
31.
I'm just
32.
gonna go with the solid
32.
25.
Final answer 32.
Tommy, do you have a guess?
2.
2.
2?
Dylan, do you have a guess?
I guess 34.
I'll
Okay,
say
is-
25. I'll say 25.
I have
Okay.
to move the names for a hot second. So I know you can't really see this, and I actually have to make Dylan's color different so you can really see it. We're just gonna make it white. So
love
Dylan on the
nerds.
last week only slayed 1 show. He has a collective of 28 slays for the season.
I was so close.
Wow.
You
Really
might notice
close.
that Michael has only slayed 3 shows ever. He did come in
Wait.
late, as did Tommy. There was a week where Michael did not slay a single show, and he slayed 1 show every week he was on, except for that 1 week he didn't slay anything. I'm taking liberties. I technically have no proof this is accurate. You're either 1 slay apart, or Jackman and Dodge, you have the exact same number of slays.
Big
Are you
brain.
fucking serious?
Yep.
Go, Jackman.
You're either one off or the
Jesus
same. 'cause I
Jackman,
can't.
ADC main share 1 brain.
Yeah, for real.
ADC main share 1 brain.
Daddy
as
became
hell.
the god.
What the fuck?
Daddy became a god. Had the most slays of any show collectively, hitting 14. It is important to
go.
note that Iwakaku went off with 11, and no Wandering Witch was 10, and Noblesse spiked to 8. It is the only show to I think ever on the podcast history get complete slays from everybody on the show at the time.
God, that was insane. Oh wait, hang on. Did Tonikawa have the least amount of relation from slay to off show?
I do not. Tonikawa was the week before Noblesse.
I feel like it had like the least total
The
number
only-
of slays.
The
over
only
course
show
of
that
the
had
season.
more than it of when it went off was They Became a God. And it was only because and this is something that I noted to Jackman earlier. He consistently slayed Noblesse from week 3 onward.
That's fair. So
he
did
just
I think.
he just
Except for week 4 when Tonikawa went off.
I did that shit with Wandering Witch, and that was my show.
and if you're curious, this is the first week. Yeah, Dylan slayed 6 shows. He then slayed 8 in week 2, and that's how I know it's him, is because of how high that slay count is.
Alright, you sound pissed. Hey,
No,
fuck you.
I'm really not. So I also then have
Fucking Matsetsu, man.
yeah, my Setsu did not have mass votes off because we had 2 people not voted off.
So crazy.
I believe also by my math, Michael still had less slays than Nathan did.
What the fuck?
Rest in peace, Nathan.
Shout out Sewer Boy. And
So
thank and
fucking
thank
funny.
you to Nathan for giving me that spreadsheet in time.
First thing is Nathan is the slay of the show.
Yes, we
So
slayed
We slayed Nathan.
do you want final results?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
first, can I get the role Slay King?
I will give you the role Slayer.
Thank you.
Pog.
Can I get the role pacifist?
Yes.
I'm beating Pablo next season. That's my goal.
Oh no. Guys, this is a podcast first. Akadama and Jujutsu Kaisen, I'll pull it up, have tied.
Oh,
Oh!
my
Oh!
God. I think I had a feeling I was counting, and I
Oh, that's
Damn.
insane. I had a feeling it was close. Yeah. What are the numbers? I gotta hear the 3 numbers. And this is
So-
all because Jackman, by the way, could have put Akadama below it.
Could have. I just
He did. And I asked him for clarification. I wanted to make sure.
overall.
Three,
Damn.
two,
Overall's
one.
a better.
I think it's fair.
3, 2, 1.
Damn.
As you might guess, this is a good ratio for Taiso. 2-4. So in total, the numbers are 14, 14, and 8.
Pretty
For
close
collective
after
total.
overall.
So Jackman.
So what does that mean?
Uh-huh.
You and I are both kings. Or
Dog.
We have
or
wait,
or
No.
we haven't done it this season.
You want to go to the
the
wheel?
wheel.
Do we want to go to the wheel?
You want gentleman's wheel?
Do you want, gentlemen? I'm
The
fine.
wheel of victory.
I am.
I approve.
I am.
Can I spin it?
Sure.
I think Pablo
I don't have a
spins it.
good way to. I don't have a good way to put your
I
screen up.
spin it.
Yeah.
That's
No.
just full of spite.
Share your screen on Discord, and then I'll click it, and we'll pop it up on main screen.
Yeah, hang on. I got the wheel.
Yeah.
I was
Oh
about
my
to say, don't
God.
make me do it. That's just pure spite.
I think that's just the ultimate.
This is the
ultimate way of
reward
doing
that.
it, though.
This is the reward that. Oh, good. This
Probably.
is the one that I use. This is gonna be really loud. I apologize.
Are we doing like a best 2 out of 3 here? We're doing
Hang
one.
on, I can
one-
add
Yeah, before we
images
said
too,
before
hang on.
what we got to clarify some things here.
Yeah.
So
Someone send me an image of Akudama real quick.
We do one test spin.
No.
Yes.
This is the only spin.
I just add the image instead.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Sean, you have a lot of pictures of Akutama.
Yeah, give me,
I
give me the
do.
cross.
I
Give me the cross.
do.
Give me
I
the
do.
cross.
Oh,
give me
you
the cross.
want the
So
cross?
So she's
Okay,
looking at the cross. That's all bloody.
We're gonna. It's called Akudama Drive because they drive.
Akutama drive because they drive.
That is
Ooh,
what
ooh,
I named
oh.
that image.
What's on your computer there?
What? What? What do you mean?
It's in Gen Chat.
What?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. Sorry, I was typing something. I just got a thing I'll have to talk to you guys about later. Hang on. Okay. This is gonna be called the cross. Okay. So we click this. We
So
add an
let's
image.
before we spin, we have to clarify some things.
Yes.
Is it the show that the wheel lands on that
Is
wins,
first.
or that is voted?
Yes.
Is what it
Yes.
lands on is first?
Yeah.
Are we doing best 2 out of 3?
No.
No.
one
One
spin.
spin.
The one spin
one
rule
spin
them
to
all.
decide it all.
One and done.
Okay, so it is what it lands on that is 1.
Is first. Yes.
Oh
I'm
my god.
And we
I'm
are
muting his
we are
description.
we are gentlemaning this. We accept
Yes,
the results,
100%.
Jackman. Absolutely
100%.
beautiful. I love this.
100%.
I'm shuffling it. Tell me when
Yep.
to stop.
3,
Stop.
2, 1. Stop.
Okay, now Sean, tell me when to spin.
Okay. Spin it.
I'm not touching
Will
it. Hands on the
hasn't failed
keyboard.
me before.
The wheel! The wheel! Yes! Wait!
Yeah, baby! I remain undefeated. Look at that! Look at that slit!
What
Look
the
at that
fuck is wrong with you?
sliver!
That's
That could
bullshit.
not have been better.
Look at the face! Look at the face!
Let's go.
Ladies and
Damn.
ladies and
I
gentlemen.
was not prepared.
Holy
I'm pissed.
shit.
I'm
Damn.
pissed.
I'm a little disappointed.
pissed.
but
I am.
at the same time,
My
I'm
record
okay
with the
it.
wheel so far is 3-1. Shit.
Holy shit.
I win the important
God.
ones.
Tyso's
Damn.
still ass though.
I remain-
remember.
I remain the anime king for the incoming season, which brings us to an interesting discussion.
I was not prepared for that.
I don't
should've been
think
dark mode.
we should watch it next season. For Jujutsu Kaisen.
No, that's
I
so
agree.
unfair.
I
That's so
agree.
unfair.
I also agree because I
Hang
think
on, if
that
you close my, if I turn off the stream, it'll fix it. Hang on.
I know.
There
I'm
you
just setting it up for when you do. I agree in that we've had a couple of these before, and it never feels right to bring in a show that already has a
I think
pre-established.
it's so unfair.
I think we
Because
are
I mean, do
totally
we,
fine to
if-
watch it and talk about it once
I
in a
think
while.
we're gonna talk about it every week. We're gonna have a weekly
fine.
Jujutsu Kaisen talk
because
at the
like
start of the
if
episode,
if we bring it back, would I take that as one of my shows?
that would be the question, right?
I
Like, it
personally
would
think
be like,
Or-
I personally think there's enough stuff this coming season that we don't even need it. Like that's my other
is
thought.
there
I
a
think we
bunch of new stuff? I haven't seen.
I have the
Dibs on the
spreadsheet in.
Haikyuu ripoff.
Well,
Dibs on the Haikyuu
Do we want me?
ripoff.
Do you want me to pull it up right now?
Sure, I haven't
Dibs
looked a
on the Haikyuu
single
ripoff.
time. All I know is the
We don't get to
new
choose the
seasons.
order. Wait, is Haikyuu next season?
No,
So,
there is a
it's
there
the
is a
Haikyuu
different
ripoff.
Oh,
volley.
that's
There's a
2020,
different
not
volleyball show.
2021. We're in 2021. That's right.
I will.
Okay. There's so many sequels though.
Yep, but there are. I have listed, and this is some of these are not the greatest. I have 27 shows. I have
Oh,
26
man, we're gonna-
shows.
We're gonna have to get going on this shit because this starts in 2 weeks.
Yep. So
Yeah, it sounds
let's.
like a next week's problem.
Pablo, are you gonna just like blindly pick again? Or are you gonna read
Yep.
the descriptions at least?
I
No.
do wanna clarify some things while we got everybody here. There are 2 points of contention I wanna bring up. I'll bring up this one first.
I will not be your girlfriend. No.
Cells at Work Code Black is a spin-off.
Okay.
No.
No.
Okay.
Cells at Work. Is that the body one?
Yes.
Cells in the body. It's cute girls doing cute things, but this one's not cute girls.
Okay,
doing
if you
cute
think
things.
about it, that picture of Joe, he just have really like long back hair. If you think about it.
Log Horizon
Okay,
season
okay.
3.
So, The other
oh my
show.
God, I'm gonna have so much fucking shit to watch week 1. Oh, it's gonna hurt.
The other show. I mentioned this earlier. Redo Repealer.
The fuck
I don't
is
know
that?
what that is. I don't know what that is.
This is an ecchi show.
So
It is dark fantasy. It has a notorious reputation
Oh,
for pushing
is
some
that the one that?
boundaries.
I mean, I'd be down.
I, if someone picks it, they pick it.
Hey,
but
we
I want to know if we
picked
want to.
Jama-
I want to know if we want a gentleman's take it off the option because I personally think it's going to be horrible to watch.
This is hentai.
Do you not want it to be
Oh,
on
man.
there?
I'm in.
I am personally not comfortable watching redo of
Okay.
Healer, and I can almost guarantee you if it goes
Oh,
on, I'm getting
no.
voted off immediately week 1.
No.
Okay.
Listen, if anyone's uncomfortable with the show,
That's fine.
like
That's fine.
of that variety, just let's just not.
I'll watch
worry.
it
I don't know.
because
I've-
y'all
Weird
hated
shit.
Glyphner, and Glyphner's actually a good show.
But okay, so
I'll watch it.
I want
hate
to.
So
I
don't know
want-
about
Gleipnir and
Glyph.
laughs at it.
So I wanna explain this again just as reference. I mentioned this before. One of the major premises of the show is that this main character has died and is reincarnated, and he is the healer class.
Oh, isn't it like fucked up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one
No,
of his,
no, let's
yeah.
not watch it. It's
Yeah.
lame.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh,
There
That's
is
fine.
wait,
there
That's
are
fine.
there are
wait,
other
is he a heel slut?
there are other ecchi shows this season.
I'm a
I think there's
I
spider.
one.
don't want to watch
What?
that. It's just gonna get voted off week 1 anyway for
That's
me.
fine.
So
That's how I felt, but I wanted to clarify because I didn't want it just to be my overall
there's no
opinion.
point. If it's like fucked up morally like that, like nah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Okay, let's take our gambles now. Does Dodge go back to back on the
No.
worst show of the season?
Baby. Yes,
First we
actually.
voted off the worst show of the season. I think it's highly potential because my genre is very, 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 very hit or miss.
I mean, if you pick another show like Metsutsu, then yeah.
Dude, comedies are fucking so
Okay.
hit or miss.
Okay,
It's
Fun
fine.
fact, there are 3 idol shows next season if you need to know.
Oh, sweet.
not
I'm
a
picking-
fucking
I'm
chance I'm
picking-
risking that.
I'm picking both of them.
Michael is highly considering taking
I'm
one
very
of them.
tempted to. It's 2 of them that are actually like one of them is just looks like an apocalypse show
Dude, I'm
that
so not
happens to
ready.
have idols in it.
I'm so ready to pick 2 romance comedies that Tommy's gonna fucking hate if he comes back.
There is a rom-com here.
Hey,
Horimiya is a rom-com.
There's
Oh,
2 of
Tommy
them.
get
We-
really
There's bottom
romantic.
tier character
Come on.
and there's Horiyama.
We do have another topic
Or,
of discussion. Who's
Okay.
who's sticking around?
I'm down. I
Me.
had a blast.
I want to be around from the start. Joining halfway through is shit.
Okay.
You gotta be able to pick your own show.
You gotta have
Yes,
something that
that's
hits
what I meant.
home.
I don't want
Yeah.
to have to watch a show that I don't want to. Well, okay, I'm gonna have to watch them
You're
anyway. but,
gonna
like,
have
okay,
to anyway.
You're gonna
but-
pick a show that you're not gonna like me. The first 3 episodes of Day I Became a God. I actually voted. I slayed it the first 3 weeks
me-
or whatever. I
Me
didn't
and
want
Pablo
to watch
hated
it.
that show.
You actually didn't.
you
You
and
actually didn't
Pablo?
slay it the second week. You slayed Irokaku instead.
I feel like we flipped our opinions on that show. We're like, I liked it a little bit at the start, and then
Is there a
absolutely
cooking
hated
show?
it, and you guys hated it, and then like started to like it.
No, second week, the reason he
Back Arrow.
didn't vote it was because that's when Ramen Girl was introduced.
Yes.
Oh
is
my god,
Back
that's
Arrow?
Okay,
right.
that's not fair. You're assuming that I'd simp. For...
You do. Shut the
Continue.
fuck up.
Continue.
I recommend checking both live chart and my anime list for the shows because sometimes I think there might be 1 or 2
No.
shows that aren't on those.
We blind pick it.
I have the whole
Back
list.
Arrow.
We pick it blind.
So I will say, we have run into an interesting conundrum now. There are 6 of us.
Yeah.
That's a lot of shows. That's a
We
lot of
do.
shows.
We normally do 11 shows.
Okay, what's so difficult about 12?
I mean, we accidentally did 12 last season.
Oops, alright, we already did it, so you can do it again.
I
don't
just
think
wanna-
It's that bad.
If there's 6 of us, we can do 12. That's fine.
We just slay 6 shows the first week. How about
I'm
that?
just gonna die the
You
first.
get
Dude,
you get your
the-
piss shows out of here. You
the
pisser.
second week of January, I'm just gonna be fucking dead because I have clinical on Saturday, and then I wake up at 7 the next day to go to work.
So we have to see when they come out. Right?
Yes. The
Yes.
latest show I believe releases the 13th of January.
I think that was redo of Healer.
Yeah. So, but then
Perfect.
I know for a fact there's a show that comes out the 12th.
That's Tuesday, so
So-
it'll be a week behind.
So yeah, that's going to be like good, and there might be like an odd. We'll have to see what gets picked to decide when we start.
Yeah,
And we'll
figure out
talk.
that when we
We'll
get there.
talk about whether we're doing what we did last season, where for week 1 we watch 1 and 2, and week 3 watch 3 and 4, or what.
Yo, are we gonna have some Jujutsu Kaisen?
We're
watch
gonna have.
parties?
Are you ready
Dude,
for?
I have so much shit to watch next
Are
season.
you ready
oh
for
my
our
God.
segment of the podcast next season where we do Jujutsu Stroll? And
Oh,
we just talk
fuck
about
yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen for a little
My
bit.
goal for the next month is to not watch a single episode of Jujutsu until the entire series is complete.
Really?
You're just gonna experience
know
Yeah,
about
it.
that
not
one.
gonna happen. I'm committed. I'm
I don't
watching
know about
it.
that one, Chief.
I'm gonna torture myself.
Yeah,
for
so
my
like just
Yo.
looking at next season, like the shit I have to watch. I have to watch
It's not
Log
gonna
Horizon
happen, it's not
3.
gonna
I have to
happen.
watch Quintessential Quintuplets 2. And then there's one and ReZero Season 2 Part 2.
I'm gonna change up my fucking. I'm gonna pick some random shit this year.
So let's explain something to the
I like it.
audience for those who don't know. We do not pick sequels. We do not pick short forms, and we try not to pick things that would require us to have a large amount of information going into it. So this is why Cells That Wear Code Black is really not a good pick, because it probably has foundation in the original. In the same right, that Wick Sauce show that's on there, I can't guarantee that's a good pick because it also might be a Data Live crossover. I'm not sure. It's also Wick Sauce. We shouldn't watch Wick Sauce. But we're each gonna pick 2 shows.
There's a lot of sports out next season.
There are. We
Just a
can.
few.
Are we gonna stream it when we do it? Do we want to stream it
I
next week?
would assume so. Are we
Wanna
doing it
stream?
on the dot?
Want to stream it
Or
live?
Stream what?
The
I
picking?
might
picking?
not be free
Oh,
on the 3rd
God.
next week, so
Dude.
we'd have to do it this week. But
Dude.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
We could literally just sign some
I
random
don't.
time to
I
do
don't
it.
think people want to know what I'm like when we pick shows.
No, I think the people need to know.
I think the argument is they need to know. I could also just record it and not stream it, and I could edit it and
Sure.
upload the best parts. So they don't have to sit
Sure.
here as we bumble around for half an hour
And they
about
sit
it.
there and go,
Like-
what the fuck's this about? And Sean goes, it's a show. And I'm like, I
That's
pick
the
it, I
best
pick
part.
it.
That's the best part.
It's so good.
Does it have titty? It does. That one.
Ooh.
That was my big selling point. I kept asking how much personality these shows had.
How did you pick Day I Became a God?
He's
Because
into lollies.
Nathan picked
I think you
fuck, what's
read
the other
it.
god show?
By the Grace
By
of
the grace of
gods.
gods.
Yeah, he picked that one, and I'm like, I'm picking the other god show.
I think you actually read. I think this was the one that you actually read, and you saw that the end was gonna end,
Yeah.
end type deal. And I think that's when you picked it.
Probably.
I will say, we will not have a show from the wheel. But that's
True,
okay.
Unfortunate.
Fuck
That's
the
okay.
wheel.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, if
maybe
we
the
did
wheel will
6
make some
wheels-
appearances.
Well, if we
during
each
the
picked one and
season.
then did 6 wheel spins.
That's a terrible idea.
Honestly, not a
No.
bad idea.
No.
But
Honestly,
No
I might
way.
pick 2 shows and then have my fate decide the last show. I think that's what I might do.
well, you're only picking 2 shows.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's saying he's gonna pick one and
Okay.
then have his second show on
Yeah.
the wheel.
Okay. You also never know who's gonna pick what.
I'm addicted.
One of us might
I'm
take what
addicted
you
to
want.
the wheel.
For those who don't know, when we do picking order, we just put all of us on a wheel and we decide the order that way.
And we snaked it last time, right?
Yeah, we did it. We did it. The
Snake
first
draft?
person picked, and then the next, and then we went backwards. Yeah,
Yep.
I think that's how we
fair
do
way
it
to
again.
I think it's a
Yeah.
fair way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, respect to Jujutsu Kaisen. It basically is also show of the season alongside Akinawa Drive. I'm not gonna undersell it. They're both amazing. They're both shows of the season. However, the wheel did decide I am the winner, and Akinawa Drive is the show of the season, and
I
I'm
am the
not gonna
winner.
let you live that down.
that show.
But in reality, we are all winners because none of us finished watching Maisetsu opening act,
That's true.
and
That's true.
that's beautiful.
Finished watching it. None of us got past episode 2.
You watched episode 2?
Tommy,
No, I watched
Tommy.
parts of episode 2 and gave up.
thank God you weren't here for the first week.
So we need to do a thing where we let Tommy watch Maisetsu opening act episode 1.
No,
you
we
need
do
to watch
not.
the first episode.
No, we do not.
Okay.
Don't. However, thank everybody for coming out
Thank you.
and for joining us for this season. When we come back, we'll be here for 2021. It'll be winter.
Woo.
Wow.
It
Is
technically,
it-
it technically
is-
already is
Merry
winter
Christmas.
2021.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas! Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy
Chimbus.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
We
Yeah.
might have some surprises in the future. I have some things we're gonna
Okay,
talk about
what's the worst show of the season
that we're
Wondering,
watching or
like-
that exists.
that we watched?
Meisetsu.
Meisetsu.
Meisetsu. Only watched the
Alright,
first
that
episode.
question.
I
As
think-
someone who enjoys Moe, Maisetsu was atrocious.
I think the most disappointing show of the season is Wandering Witch.
Yes,
I'd agree.
can't agree.
I had a lot of hope for that. Afterwards, Iwakaru, I had high hopes that actually was going to be somewhat decent.
Hey,
I was gonna say something perverted, but I will refrain. Anyway,
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we're gonna stop the podcast. Thanks for tuning in, guys,
Bye.
and
shit. No.
enjoy the rest of your new year.